Ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages. Wait, not of all ages. Wait, no, eight people who are 18 plus, not people of all ages. Okay, not people of all ages. If you're under 18, please cease watching immediately. Not what I meant. Okay, they're gonna take it the wrong way. Hold on. Before we start, I'd like to give me one sec. Before we begin tonight, I'd like to announce something that I feel like I've needed to say to you all for quite a long time. And to some, it may have been obvious. To others, maybe not so much. But ladies and gentlemen, I need to announce my transition, the beginning of my transition from the Aiden you've all known, okay, the angry, getting one guide Aiden, to cool Aiden, okay, cool Aiden. You've seen him before, all right. He's back. He's back in action, okay. Cool Aiden is back, okay. He's here, and I feel like it's time. I told you all about this transition, so hope everyone's doing well. Cool Aiden is here to stay. Who's this cool? He's just the cooler Aiden. What can I say? What can I say? No more hate. No more hate streams, okay? No more hate speech. No more hate streams. It's just all going to be, from this point forward, it's going to be vibes and love speech, okay? It's going to be nothing but vibes and love speech for all. $3 from How About Nope. Pear character stretching his arm for... That is a cool-ass fucking sticker, man. Appreciate it. 5 from Cal. You're supposed to rest the arms on your ears, not 3 feet above them. Okay, I didn't know that. I'll take advice. Take advice in the future on that matter. Soul Skibbity with the 2, with a pair. That is a very cool pair. The pair's got shades on. I'm liking it. Vibes. It's cool. Actually hiding the... Whoa, hold on. So yeah, we don't really have a lot of topics tonight. But that's okay, because everything's okay and cool. So I'll just figure it out as I go. But, you know, if you'd like to, if you think there's something worth checking out, feel free to, it'd be really cool if you join my Discord server and linked it. Give us more to talk about, more content. I'm probably likely to stay live longer if it's a good topic. But folks, to get us started, okay. Apparently, there was a video released on Ethan Klein, okay? An Ethan Klein video has hit the timeline. It is 200,000 views. This was a long time coming. It's by somebody called Amen Animations, I guess, so we're gonna check it out. $10 from Kalora Vetla. Sorry for the bad vibes. It's all good, man. We all have good days and bad days, and you know, if taking it out here allows you to have some catharsis and feel better in your day-to-day life, then, you know, I understand. I'm all for it, man. I'd rather you say it to me than somebody whose feelings might be more hurt. You know, it's nothing but love and vibes here, man. Nothing but love, vibes. $5 from Cats a Flockin'. That's very generous. I was always your biggest supporter, Aiden. You don't have to try this hard. Just be yourself. Don't let them get to you. Nobody's getting to me. Nobody's getting to me except my high blood pressure. So I have to, you know, tone things down a little bit. And, you know, I think that the universe is a way of making things come back to you. And I think that I need to live my life in a manner that is more reflective of the type of people that I'd like to be around. The never-ending cycle of Ethan Hassan Destiny. Yeah, this is going on for a long time, man. I think a lot of it's very redundant. I think the reason it's gone on so long is Ethan Klein. He's probably the biggest contributor to of that. He consistently posts about all of his enemies, and I think to live with that much like bad energy, that much focus on everyone who's ever said anything mean about you, it's just really unhealthy and not cool. This sucks. I want the old Aiden back. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. SSRI's Aiden is he's here to stay. Okay. Anyways, he won't stop because he needs the attention on him and he needs the views for more cash. I respectfully disagree. I don't think Ethan Klein is doing this for money. I think he's genuinely that angry and obsessed with his opposition. Like he is genuine in the sense he's not genuine about his political beliefs. He is genuine,
yes, we are
though, in his anger towards those he does not like.
being sued.
It's real. I heard there were more minors in Aiden's server. Is this true? My server does not allow minors. It's an 18+ server. I have no means of you know, unless I do like I'm probably at some point, if the server grows, I'm gonna have to implement maybe like I don't know if there's like a bot you can ID with or something, but no, the server is strictly 18+. If I even like suspect you're a minor, you have to send me something with like a birthday on it. You don't even have to include your name or anything, just like a fucking date of birth.
Sued for
Alright, let's listen to this.
copyright infringement. It's been hanging over our lives like a cloud these past months.
Yeah.
We are being sued by Bold Guy, aka Matt Haas Zone. We did our thing and we made a reaction video about him on our second channel, Ethan and Eli. And I think the heart and soul of this is like that he doesn't like that we made fun of him, and so he's suing us.
Oh, old 2016 H3 reference. You know, I used to really enjoy watching H3's videos. I thought H3 is very fucking funny. I used to love the main channel videos. I remember when like the Sea Monsters of YouTube video came out, and like that one I thought was like really funny, and we were going through like a comedy drought at that point in time, so to get some good old-fashioned H3 tent I thought was kind of funny. Of course you did. I don't know, I think H3 is funny, or it used to be at least. Great stuff, great stuff.
Ethan, great moves. Keep it up. Proud of you.
Oh, hi there. It's me, your old friend, Ethan Klein. It's been a while since
You know, I've never really liked animation videos, but for some reason I always found it impressive when non-animation YouTubers and like their big, you know, video exposés would just come at you with like some like crazy high production shit, like an animation or something. Like Colossal's Crazy used to do it. I used to like that.
we've last spoken. In that time, I've had 3 kids, all boys. I've lost 100 pounds, and I've pissed off 75% of the internet. Probably a lot of you guys too. I started a show a couple of years ago with my acquaintance, Hassan Piker, the Leftovers podcast, which we made broadly to goof on the antics of the right. And we went on making the show for about 2 years, and everything was good. Everyone was having fun, the audience was having fun.
You know, I'm not even, as I've said before, I'm not even like a Hassan fan, but where did this like small head, his head is not small. His head is like not small relative to his body. I don't know where the fuck this came from.
No problem.
Actually, like the meta is, if you don't have anything about somebody's like physical appearance you can insult, just like make stuff up. Just like literally just like make stuff up.
That was until this happened.
From the river to the sea essentially
His head looks completely proportionate to his body.
means the state of Israel is going bye-bye.
And over time, I started to learn that my co-host, He really likes terrorists.
I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
Everybody likes some terrorists, okay? Everybody likes some terrorists. Terrorist is not like is not necessarily a word evoking like a moral bad or good, right? I'm sure that in hindsight, you know, a lot of people would can find at least one terrorist in history that they liked, okay? I don't know. John Brown. John Brown's a big one. Would he be considered a terrorist? Maybe under like the he was, right? He was. Who's your favorite terrorist? Probably John Brown.
And then I had a terrifying vision. Had I been duped? Was Hassan presenting a Trojan horse to my community, where he was just a left-leaning Democrat?
Also, the fucking the Gaza Freedom Flotilla or whatever got captured by the Israelis, and like Ben Gvir. Wait, hold on, I gotta find this video real quick. Hold on, it's like, for those of you that don't know, like Ben Gvir is like a member of the Israeli far right, and you know that's like pretty bad when like by our standards, like the moderate right in Israel is basically the far right. So he's like the farther right. But Ben Gvir, Greta and like a bunch of activists were, I guess they were going to deliver aid to Gaza. And this is like the second time I think they got detained, right? And hold on. They got detained again, and Ben Gvir, who, by the way, Ben Gvir, I think Netanyahu's like, he's in Netanyahu's cabinet, right? And Ben Gvir had like an actual like portrait on his wall of Baruch Goldstein, who, for if those of you don't know, he was a soldier in the IDF, and then while he was off duty, he walked into the Cave of Patriarchs mosque and shot as many worshippers as possible. And I think he killed 22 of them before I think he himself was beaten to death by the crowd. And to like the Israeli far right, he's like considered a martyr. And Ben Gvir, he's like a mass shooter. And Ben Gvir is like accepted in the mainstream, and he had a actual like portrait of this guy on his wall. But Ben Gvir likes his photo ops, and he went to go look at the arrested people aboard the Freedom Flotilla. And you can call them many things, right? Even if you think they're dumb or whatever, because they know what's gonna happen. Their humanitarian aims are admirable. And so you have all these people, I guess, that are arrested here. I don't know. Okay, it's in Hebrew subtitles. Hold on, I gotta find the one with English subtitles. So they're detained. I think some of them are being sent to one of Israel's most brutal prisons. Everyone I don't like is a terrorist. The Israeli guide to navigating like international politics. It's just like everyone's a terrorist. The people that are just like literally like bringing food to like to people lacking in it, etc., etc. They're terrorists. The excuse Israel always uses to like seize like food and stuff or the flotilla or whatever is like, oh well, they could be bringing weapons and stuff to Hamas or whatever. So they actually, Ben Gvir for his photo op inspects the flotilla. אגב, האוניות שלהם נמצאו קרחנה שלמה. הם לא באו באמת, לא למשט, לא לעזור, אלא הם באו בעד עזה, בעד הטרוריסטים. אלה טרוריסטים. הם תומכי טרור. So they go into the flotilla or whatever.
יש כאן אגב הטבע אחד, כמו שהמפכ"ל אומר, מדינה כל חינגה אחת גדולה. איזה חינגה יש כאן?
He's looking for weapons.
סיוע ולא הומניטרי.
Wait, hold on. It was back here.
מה זה? זה סיוע הומניטרי? אני לא רואה פה שום דבר.
יש כאן, הייתה כאן מטרנה אחד, כמו שהמפכ"ל אומר, ונהיה קולחים ככה גדולה.
No, there's one part where they pick up like Clorox bleach or something, or like a clean like a bottle of like some sort of cleaner, and he's like, chemicals potentially used for chemical weapons or something. Hold on,
מה זה? זה סיוע...
am I just like forgetting this?
קולחים יש כאן. לא סיוע ולא הומניטרי. קולחים יש. ונהיה קולחים ככה גדולה.
This looks like one big chemical. I guess, did they cut this part out? It's like right here. Hold on. They're like so desperate to like paint these guys as like they want to like bring weapons.
שום דבר.
יש כאן, הייתה כאן מטרנה אחד, כמו שהמפכ"ל אומר, ונהיה קולחים ככה גדולה. איזה...
So big chemicals. If anyone can identify what brand this is, please let me know.
איזה כימיה יש כאן. לא סיוע ולא הומניטרי.
Big chemical. Yeah, it's like to clean, right? Like something of that size is not really gonna be effective in something of that size isn't really gonna be all that effective in like the mass production of chemical weapons for like for an army. Like that's more than likely to clean the fucking ship. They're being transferred to this prison? Hold on. I don't know how true that is. Human Rights Watch visited the camp in August of 1990. It was under the command of some name. The camp was divided into sections. Each section... access between lawyers and their clients is very restricted. Meetings took place in the open across a double fence. No documents were allowed to be exchanged. Violence. Security prisoners were first restrained, then forcibly thrown to a concrete floor, sometimes on top of each other as guards passed between them with batons, kicking them. Randomly, 15 prisoners were injured and left restrained for hours. And you know the worst part? You know, I've read about like conditions in certain Israeli prisons. This is actually on like the higher end. This is like an example of one of their more humane prisons. Okay, there is like a prison where just like widespread rape of guards against like rape as a form of like torture is like used like regularly by guards against like detainees, and like aspects of the Israeli far right were actually advocating for freeing guards that were convicted of rape.
Like myself, and as he said in the previous video, was funneling them into radicalization and turning them against me.
Liberals are some of the easiest to manipulate people on the fucking planet, dude.
I learned how
Aiden, how are you? Doing well? I'm doing great. Thank you. Hey, Dance. I hope you're doing well as well. It's all vibes. Aiden, you lost all your viewers and all you have now is snow? That's okay. You know, as long as I have one person watching, then it's worth it, my friend. And, you know, for those of you that do stay and watch, even if it's late at night or no big topics happening or whatever, my core audience, you are very much appreciated. Thank you.
she hates liberals.
Dude, I hate liberals, dude. I do. I hate them. I hate them so viciously.
Did he secretly despise me this whole time?
I'm sorry, dude. I hate liberals so much.
Did this man sit next to me for 2 years and pretend to be my friend? What else is someone this sociopathic capable of?
Liberals are some of the easiest to manipulate people on the fucking planet.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I don't like Hassan, just to be clear. I'm not on the hate bandwagon or whatever, but like, this is why I don't generally like him, because of his sentiment towards liberals, which I feel like in America, historically have been like really like the only ones doing anything, you know. And I think that unless you want to talk about like labor unions and shit, but yeah, I don't know. These people will like deride like the only like actual pragmatic opposition, whilst like giving us no viable alternative. $2 from Spencer. The Marinette is still sailing towards Gaza right now. Oh, so what did I just watch? Because the left has been crushed in the U.S. time and time again. True. Kel is debating Connor. I don't know who Connor is.
Was I being manipulated this whole time?
Hello, everybody. This is Ethan Klein, host of the H3 Show. All right, so obviously
Connor from Counterpoint. What are they debating about?
I'm about to have a really uncomfortable conversation about Hassan. And, you know, I wanted to do a really fun episode about Twilight today, but blame it on the anti-Semites. The openness and brazenness with anti-Semitism has left me no choice. I have no choice. But I'm hallucinating, according.
Is it the character model like slowly like rotting away, like progressively as this animation continues?
to Hassan. Well, let's see if I'm hallucinating. The big story breaking right now is that since October 7th, Twitch has blocked the entire country of Israel from making new accounts.
Dude, this is literally Dan Saltman's like Stydia.
Secretly, silently, no statement, no explanation, has blocked an entire fucking country. How does that happen?
I know this is like a dramatization, but like take the pin board. This is like actually like really not that much of an exaggeration, except it's not like a physical pin board. Like he's in group chats with Dan Saltman, like pinpointing like this exact shit. It's just like not on a physical board. That's the only difference. A physical board just visualizes to you like how like fucking paranoid this dude has gotten.
The word Israel is considered a invalid word when you're trying to make an account. User from Israel.
You know what?
But hold on. Before you.
Right, Katzaflock, and your argument is like, so I'm sorry. Okay, I know you're a fan. This like whole Hassan is an ethnic Turk, so he must be anti-Semitic shit. It's like such a horrible argument.
Answer.
Yeah.
You missed my $5 super chat? Oh, sorry. I'll check that out right now. Australian neat friendly streamer time bonus. You actually have high blood pressure. Ethan, no, I don't actually have high blood pressure. Ethan will be hurt by this because he's an Ammon fan. Well, he'll be hurt by it if he wasn't an Ammon fan.
Why does then both Palestine...
It's not a joke when this person has like seriously made this argument like several times. I like there might be some context that you're missing. That would lead me to have an understanding that it might be serious, while you would interpret it on the surface level as a joke.
and Hamas are acceptable. This guy's name is I Love Hamas 123. That word. Yeah. Well, apparently that's dope. In his song, it's by Hassan, and in his community, I Love Hamas 123 is just another member of his community. I'm being real. It's just way too many coincidences. Hassan is on the homepage of that website every time I go there.
He's the most viewed live streamer live right now.
Yeah, because they keep putting him at the top fucking page every day.
Yeah, but
No, he was big already. He was big already. Like especially amongst people my age. He's always been like the whole like they promote him, so that's why he's big, and not he's big and brings them money, and that's why he gets preferential treatment. Like argument is just like so dumb. It's so dumb. The other thing I don't like about Hassan criticism is that it's just like become like total hall monitor like behavior. Like Hassan is stupid because X, Y, and Z versus Hassan loves terrorists, so ban him, so do this, like policing like everything he does to argue for like to argue for Twitch like it's like snitch behavior. You're just like a snitch. You sound like a weak, like pathetic person. There was a time when like being a fucking snitch was like generally considered kind of shameful to do, like a very like puny, pathetic thing to do. But it seems like the anti-Hassan crowd is literally just Randall from Recess. That's like what it's become. He's not going away. He earns them a fuck ton of money. And yeah, if you're earning more money, then I don't care if you get preferential. If you're earning more money for the site, I don't particularly care if you get preferential treatment. What I would hope is that, you know, Twitch would be transparent about that fact. But just by virtue of them doing that, I don't really care. Like, yeah, companies are gonna like have a greater tolerance for higher earners.
No, but there's no. What's crazy is there's nobody on the entire platform.
How is it a snitch when they use public? What do you think snitching is? Or like being a tattletale or whatever the fuck. Just because something is public doesn't mean purposely trying to take the thing and like make it aware to like the higher authority that can actually enforce a consequence isn't snitching. If you're trying to make them aware of it, then you believe said higher authority doesn't know about it to begin with. So the reason you're adding them with it and stuff is because you want them to see it and then do something about it.
To call him out. Nobody. They've all been banned. They've all been banned. Nobody. There is not a single dissenting voice with his fucking straight up radical, anti-American,
It's like Ethan has like it is envy. It comes down as well to envy, right? But it's also like the hyper defensiveness of his identity, because he views Hassan as like a threat to Jews or whatever. And he does have this like innate like bias and need to like defend Israel, even if like at one point in time he was super subtle about it, because public sentiment wouldn't be on his side if he like actually just outright stated what he believed. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's like it comes down like if your whole life is now becoming like you just like hate to see someone else win, and you're just like becoming like a fucking snitch, like it just like it's so pathetic. There's nothing noble about it.
medic, fucking pro-China,
Well, yeah, but you were talking about well, yeah, that's what I say people are snitching about. When you're taking a clip from a Hassan stream and then adding Twitch, right? As if, hey, you're the higher authority, you're not aware of this behavior that I've identified as bad on your platform, and I'm trying to make you aware of it now by adding you with the hopes that you now, you know, give this guy consequences and ban him or whatever, then yeah, like it's fine to colloquially refer to someone as a snitch for doing that.
Russia pro-terrorism takes, this is fringe, psychotic shit that is not normal. And it is the only acceptable voice on Twitch. Explain that to me. How is there not one dissenting voice on that entire platform?
Snails are kind of doing the thing that people meme about, like docking penises, basically.
I don't know what that means.
Docking?
Dude, this guy is so awesome. This guy's so, it's like, even though I don't like him, like I can kind of respect that he has like this many people like ass mad, like it's over for Hassan now, as he's like hopping into the pool in his like multi-million-dollar mansion, or like looking at snails on stream. This is the greatest troll that's ever lived.
When two guys get together and like one,
and he doesn't do it on purpose either, so I don't even know if calling him a troll would be accurate, but I like to think that he does.
The circumcised penis and the other one doesn't, and then the non-circumcised penis you like put into the circumcised penis, basically. Like you unfold the uncircumcised part of the penis, like the tip, and then you put the circumcised penis in it like this, like a spaceship docking.
And they just touch? It's not
yeah.
like...
It's kind of like that.
Is that sexual or is that just a joke?
I don't know.
S-tier race? Are you fucking kidding me?
That at all.
This is Nazi shit! S-tier race? Are you fucking kidding me? And they're trying to run defense. Hassan and all these fucking people are running defense for this shit. I have spent every waking moment on this project.
Except for when you take care of your kids, right?
Dude, it's like this is what they're it's like this guy has acted in like every like basic rules to the internet. If you're gonna have a public platform, this guy's like defied all of them. Don't feed the trolls. Like everything he's done is indicative. Lolcow behavior is not doing something bad or doing something embarrassing or doing something cringe. Being a lolcow is like a pattern of your response to the backlash upon that initial bad thing. In every way this guy has acted, his like obsessiveness, it's all indicative of being indistinguishable from that, right? He responds to everyone. He actively like misrepresents and gets mad about shit that there actually is no reason to be mad about. Sure, in his situation, like for some instances, the anger is probably justifiable. He lives in this like hyper paranoid state that he makes no attempt to hide, how much of his life and mental energy he's dedicating to this. And the commentary community, or the old commentary community, has now taken the role of being his enablers. they're his biggest enablers, right? Actually, this is normal. Actually, he is justified, et cetera, et cetera. It's not normal. No, it's not justified at this point. And yes, he is like I was actually, when I first started reading about this drama, and there was way more in it for me, by the way. I was getting rated by people like Diora. There was way more in it, okay, for me to like pretend to be pro Ethan. But when I first started reading about this drama, I actually sort of was pro Ethan and pro sympathetic to Ethan, right? In the sense of, I thought, okay, he's not even saying anything, like, he's, like, these people are being really extreme about it, like, his take on Israel seems to be fine, or, like, moderate, or whatever, like, that kind of stuff, and then due to the fact that I actually have the most basic of, like, political and historical knowledge on the subject, as I went and listened to his further statements, it became clear to me that he was somebody that, to appease his present fan base, was denouncing the Israeli state as much as possible, where he could be safe, where he thinks he can be safe amongst them, while simultaneously harboring sympathies for that state that are like actively like the same thought process as like a fucking somebody who plays defense for like the fucking German army or whatever, right? You can hear this in a Sam Cedar debate where like we're discussing the death toll and stuff in Gaza and like the building of settlements, and Ethan's like, well, you can understand how the Israelis feel that way, right? You can understand why they feel that way, which is like, that would be such an insane statement, right? In like any other context, nobody's really gonna care all that much about if the Germans like had a justifiable fear of communism when the Holocaust, prior to the Holocaust or whatever. And then also, right, actively being a denialist. So when Israel was illegally conducting raids far beyond and during the war with Lebanon, when they were conducting raids in I know the West Bank is not in Lebanon, obviously, but they were still conducting, raids in the West Bank at this point, raids that were illegal, raids that were done without the consent of the Palestinian Authority. Ethan said that the Palestinian Authority actually was okay with this, and they did agree to it, which isn't true, by the way. That isn't true. That's actively, like, denying the international crimes being committed by Israel. It's very evident this guy harbors pro-Israeli sympathies and masks it behind the most baseline left-wing concessions, i.e., Netanyahu's bad, things that don't reflect poorly on Israeli society as a whole, when you have plenty of good arguments that would reflect poorly on Israeli society as a whole and the existence of the Israeli state. So I think it's like disingenuous as well. It's this level of disingenuous, and I realize now that there actually is a lot of valid points to go against this guy, and he's a total lolcow.
I don't think Hassan knows what's coming. I feel it might be one of the best takedown videos of all time. It's coming together, but I've never been faced with such a daunting task. I find myself overwhelmed with the quantity.
The only people who play defense for him, and this is why I don't think I'm so frustrated by drama YouTubers engaging with this, because yes, you do need to do some research on the history. Yes, you do. Like, I can appreciate that when I was, explaining why Ethan's statements about the PLO's, what was it? When I was talking about like the status of like the Israeli army in the West Bank to recontextualize Hassan's comments, I can appreciate that Diorio gave me a concession, but it's like at that point it should be, okay, drama or the history and politics of it actually are relevant to your coverage of it, and you should be now doing research as a result of that if you're going to base your like career nowadays around covering this. I think you're doing your audience a disservice and like your integrity a disservice if you continue to cover this without doing some reading about the political and historical context behind this conflict and how Ethan's claims are outright like denialist.
Of footage, and I have tried everything
9,
to avoid
8, 7, 6,
launching this nuclear
5,
bomb.
4.
But Hassan has
3,
continually provoked
2,
me
1,
and forced my
0.
hand.
Are you going to be watching Ethan's content, Nuke? The answer is, of course not.
The title of the show is Hassan and Goons Are Evil, Cowardly Liars. Now, I, once again, am looking to not, to move on past it. Yeah, I'm just gonna get into the Hassan stuff. This is the result of Hassan's activism. Hassan Piker. Hassan. Propagandist. Lying.
The other aspect of this that just like shows you how unhinged this guy is just like take a look at his Instagram story any night.
Scumbag. Terrorist supporter. Hassan's the type of dude who looked.
When they used to be like to him, Ethan, don't you have kids you need to be taken care of? I'd be like, okay, that's disingenuous. The guy like covers drama. He talks about the internet for a living. Like he can do two things at once, right? It's not like he needs to be taking care of his kids every second. And I realize they're just like making some kind of hyperbolic statement, but I then now look at his Instagram story and I understand. It's like, holy fuck, dude. Even people who are like who care about Ethan or and it's not concern trolling, right? I think iDubbbz is like, you know, pathetic, right? Same with Anissa, but I don't really care to like devote any more than like 10 seconds to hating on them. But like even people who are concerned about his mental health, like to focus that much mental energy on this is not healthy. It's just not healthy. So even if you care about the guy, even if you like him, you would be saying something of like, this isn't really a great way to be engaging. I can tell you how they aren't denialist. Sure, if you'd like to call in, feel free. Feel free if you'd like to come on. No, it is cowardice. There really is, like, no way around the sweep at this point. Okay, dude, this is ridiculous. Let me just be clear, okay? Let me just be clear, because I don't say this a lot, okay? Yeah, I actually think it's okay for us to say that, like, the killing of civilians on, like, October 7th wasn't a good thing, okay? It wasn't good for achieving, it wasn't good in the sense of, I don't think that's how armies should conduct themselves. I think that that's bad in the sense of, achieving your own, like achieving, like, the ends that we're looking for here. But I'm not going to spend more than 10 seconds on it because it's dwarfed. But it's used now as a point to justify Israel's present mass killings. So it's not something I harp on. Or like talk about for more than 10 seconds at this point, because the people that keep invoking it are people that want to justify killing even more people and justify a state that has historically killed more people. I think to say, like, I think it is totally fair to say that it's like not a good thing to kill civilians. Sure, right? For October 7th, you can absolutely criticize your own side, but I think when they want us to criticize our own side at this point, they want us to do so in a manner that enables and continues the justification of their crimes. But to be fair, that was just me being fair. This is like kind of funny, okay? It's like kind of funny. We imagine promotion of a terror organization is against policy. You're adding the DMV? Who gives a fuck? You're gonna call in? Okay. Hello? You're gonna call in? Okay. So,
Do you hear me?
yeah, just to be clear, I have to do this now with everyone that's calling in. You're not trolling, right? With whatever you're about to say.
I'm 100% not.
You agree that it's all.
Let me turn off this
just to
call.
be clear, I have to do this now with everyone that's calling in. Can you do me a favor? Can you turn off my stream on your end, because it's echoing really bad.
That's what I was saying. I had to turn that off. I just didn't know if you would actually join. But yes, I'm here. I'm not trolling.
Okay, what did you want to argue with me about?
It dealt with the shit. What was it? The AI shit? I don't know.
AI?
Damn it. I don't know. I'm retarded. I don't remember fully because I lost my train of thought. But I do know. I do have a specific thing that I want to like talk about. I just hold on. Give me a second. I'm just gonna look through it.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I'm sorry. I'm not a troll. Just so you know, I know that you. I know. I've been watching your streams for a while, so I know that you always talk about trolls. I'm not a troll. I'm just retarded.
Got you.
That's on me.
Thank you, $2 from Frenchies Fry. Allen Iverson owns you. Who's Allen Iverson?
Allen Iverson was a basketball player.
Oh, cool. Do you want to do a favor? You want to just call back in when you figured out what the disagreement is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want to hold up your stream.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Take care. I lost that one. I'm not gonna lie, I lost that one. Okay. I did lose that one, to be fair. Running? Yes, dude, so true. Oh, wait, is this the actual? I thought that was Hey Hey Dance. Are you Hey Hey Dance? Oh, no, you're Hacks Money. Can I help you? You're in callers? Do you want to disagree with something? Excuse me? Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. Really intelligent discourse happening here tonight. Very intelligent discourse happening on this stream. I think that guy might have been masturbating. Okay. Was that guy jerking it? What was going on there? Dude. Dude, it's a new debate tactic. Just whip out your cock and start jerking. Dude. He was trying to smell. He was trying to smell me. Got it. Sniffing fallacy? True. Wait, apparently the chemical weapon found on the flotilla has allegedly been identified. Domestos, okay, it's too low quality to look at what is this detergent? Is this laundry detergent? Huh? Okay. I don't know what brand, is it like bleach? Okay, apparently, yeah, this is bleach. So this is the chemical weapon they've identified. Got it. It's just like a bottle of fucking bleach. Got it. Very scary stuff happening. I think we should use this to justify. Kathy, why are you still in J-Town? I gave you very explicit orders to be back in the server. You have to get the fuck away from J-Town. So get the fuck away from J-Town. All right, let's see what topics we have here. Okay. Ooh, what is this?
The idea. Saying Israel does that on the daily. The idea.
I don't. That's not what I'm talking about. See, that's what you're doing. You're excusing people being burned alive and kids being murdered. You're saying Israel does that.
Okay, this does look clip chimp, to be fair. I'd love to. It probably is bad. I feel like in order to be like, for the sake of transparency, I feel like it's not good practice to like clip it that tightly. Just to be clear, she probably is gonna say something really crazy and unhinged, but like, you should not be clipping your clips this tightly because your opposition is just gonna use that to deny them.
That on the daily. Okay. Now I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. So are you in favor of an Iraqi terror?
She doesn't even say anything. She doesn't even. Why would you clip something this tightly? Did they like clip the wrong thing by mistake? I'm sure she said something insane to get Ethan to say that, but you include that original thing in your fucking clip, you fucking idiot. Sorry.
I don't even know what the fuck that's referring to.
Cool, Aiden.
But
I think they're saying that
all peace and love, man. I just think like in your efforts to like, you know, get a clip to be used as like an effective form of evidence in the course of your condemnation, just going forward, you should clip it in a way where your opposition can't call its integrity or credibility into account due to its lack of context. So I think it's good practice in your clips to. It's good practice in your. She's okay. Got it. Hold on.
like that she watches news from Israel sometimes.
Okay, where does anyone have like the full clip? Does anyone have the full clip? Because like that would be great if we had the full clip. Because I'm not doing anything with that. We will treat Kool-Aid nicely. You know what you meant to ask? Okay. What's up, man?
Oh shit! Okay, that was really fast.
I don't mean.
Right,
I mean
so-
this with all due respect, just before we get into this, because I don't want to like embarrass you or anything. Are you like drunk?
I am, but I don't think you could embarrass me because I'm drunk. So.
Well, I just don't want you to say anything that you're gonna regret, because I've been there. I think we've all been there. So.
I mean, you haven't been there because you're a lot younger than me. I've been there.
Well,
yes.
Well, no. I've been to. I'm 20. I have broken the law and drank before, and I've also left the country a few times and drank.
Okay, okay, that's not the same thing as being like really drunk.
I've been
you know?
I've been blackout like one time.
One time, okay.
Okay, so what did you
All right,
disagree?
but
What did you disagree with me
Either
about?
way, though, my main thing is, you know what? I'm gonna forgo what I just thought about. Okay, okay? How do you feel about specifically when it comes to the EHD, Ethan Klein, Hassan Destiny, shows, like with every clip and everything that you've seen?
With every clip, how do I feel about every clip?
Not. Okay, hold on. To be clear, I don't mean like every clip, but like the whole culmination of those clips. How do you feel about EHD in general, and that terminology? I guess.
I think that Ethan Klein is like disingenuously represented his political positions, gaining the ire of a large hater base, some of which are very rabid about it, more so that, more than I would ever condone, right? But within that, most of these people have genuine criticism of this guy, and he has tried to reframe, because nobody actually cares to like look into his statements. He's like reframed it in a way.
Real quick, when you say try to reframe, you're talking about Ethan, right? So.
Yeah. He'll make himself look like pretty moderate on the issue. Like, hey, I support Palestine. They're just coming after me for not, being left like making it look like he's just being like purely like purity tested over nothing, which is how I interpreted it on the surface level. And he relies on the fact that people aren't gonna like evoke like specific clips or like have like much prior knowledge of the conflict to understand that like, hey, some of the stuff he has said and done is like denialist for the crimes of the state of Israel, and his disingenuous representation of his positions actually evokes further hatred against him, many of which is absolutely much of which is absolutely just, and he plays victim while simultaneously engaging with every troll in a manner that had it been applied to everyone else, is like an unhealthy way to engage with your hater base online.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. A very unhealthy way. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have any more?
Nope, that's it.
That's why I love you, bro. Okay,
Thanks, man.
I
Love
know
you
we
too.
started this with that's why I love you, because you understand everything and you just say it like how it is, like what's happening.
I appreciate it, man. Love you too, man. Have a
Oh
good
my
have a
God.
good night. Take care.
But,
Drink
hold
some
on
water.
though, but I still will combat. I mean I'm drinking water. Don't worry, but I'll still combat you on that.
All right, sounds good, man. Look, we've all been there. We've all been there. Okay, we've all been there. He's gonna wake up tomorrow and watch it and be like, "What the fuck was I doing?" We've all been there. Okay. I would just advise to people. I wasn't gonna force him out because then you'd accuse me of running. But I would advise, if you're like very inebriated, to not call in. That's what I'd probably say. Just because I don't want you to say something that you're going to regret. Just in case. You lost? So true. $2 from Soul Skivity. I've been there, guys. Can we get another Soul Skivity drunk stream? Not Spencer. I say embarrassing things sober. So true. You're going to be the one regretting that call in the morning. Also true. So I'll play some Minecraft. We got some other drama, I guess, to cover. Here's the deal, okay? Because I am going to be cool now. But I know that another thing I've done is I react in a very funny way when people fuck with me. So I've actually positively reinforced, I've reinforced, people. I've given people an incentive to troll the fuck out of me. So I must say this: when I log into the server, if the first thing you do is kill me, I'm not gonna get mad at you because I'd do the same thing if I were in your shoes. I'm just gonna ban you, okay? So if I play the game on stream, just let me play my game. Don't try to fuck with me. Do your own thing. And you get to stay in the server, and everyone gets to be happy, and that's the end of it. If not, I'm not even going to give you attention. I'm just going to ban you, okay? I say that in the nicest manner possible. Have you condemned the synagogue attack? I'd have to look into it. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's a joke. I'd have to look into that. What? Dude, no, obviously yes. Obviously. I don't know what happened, but if it was just like a case of just like killing people for the religion they worship, then yeah, I think that. So what? No, obviously, I think that, I think that I was not laughing about that. I actually don't know what happened there. I actually don't even. What do you think about the I'll look into that. $2 from Junk Drawer Gaming. Review Green's house when you join. I will. What happened there? Was there actually a synagogue? Was it like somebody like spray painted something? Or all right, yeah. I feel like I heard about this when I woke up. With a car. Interesting. Yeah, obviously that's bad. Yeah, that's horrible, right? And I like also the other thing too is, right, not only is it bad for like the immediate victims, but if he did it for the reasons I suspect he did it for, that's incredibly selfish to your own community. I don't agree that it should reflect negatively on your entire community, but people who don't like your community to begin with are now going to use this thing to attack your community. And I think that that's wrong to do. and I don't think it's justified because of this, but you know that that's what they'll do, and it's like, not only are you killing innocent people, which is bad enough, but you're giving bad people a justification to do more bad stuff. And yeah, like, obviously, like, you're a fucking idiot murderer. The saddest thing about this is the blowback it'll have on the I wasn't talking about is he trans? Is the person that did it? I was thinking because he's Muslim. He's not trans, right? Speaking of trans blowback, Queeman actually DM'd me about this, and I feel like I would be doing a disservice if I didn't give it the attention that it deserved. This morning, a minute after it was posted, I guess Queeman actually has notifications for this account on. I was sent some more beautiful, stunning images that I feel like you need to see. So, okay, I'm not gonna bring it up. Okay, I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm not gonna bring it up. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I was contemplating it. I was contemplating it. I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm not gonna bring it. I'm not gonna do 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 it. Okay. You're actually no. It's like funny. It's like to a normal from a normal person's perspective. This is like actually like hilarious. Yes. Yes, it's funny. Yes. I don't know why Ali like thinks about like sexual arousal whenever he thinks about a trans person. He like he has no theory of mind, so he thinks like everybody else's thought process is like identical to his, and like we get pleasure from seeing like an ugly fucking freak. This guy is sick. I know. I needed to pin it on you because I feel like you actually are a chaser. I just can't prove it yet, so I'm just gonna like pin this stuff on you. Listen, if you want to see it for whatever reason, God bless your soul. If you have a morbid curiosity, feel free to check out the newest collage on the Bo Black's Instagram account. Truly beautiful site. Why am I hiding? It is, like, is it nudity? Does it count as nudity? Because you could, like, see his moobs? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna count, does the same thing as nudity. I think I'd actually be, like, less offended seeing, like, the average person fucking naked than I would seeing that image. Like, in effect, it's basically functionally nudity. Okay, somebody drew it. Okay, somebody drew it for us, so we don't actually have to look at the real image. Got it. Thank you for this depiction, Squimbly Bimbly. Much appreciated. Alright. Cool stuff. Dead accurate? Yeah, it's because Squimbly Bimbly just fucking traces over the OG picture, I think, right? Actually, I don't want to say that because this guy draws me and it looks horrible. I don't want to say he's actually tracing because, oh my god, that would just reflect horribly on me. Dude, this is how this guy drew me. This does not look like me. This doesn't look anything like me. Dude, I got like my eyes like looking near each other like I'm an inbred. That's not good. It's not accurate. First, it's not accurate. It's not me. It's not me. Looks nothing. My eyes do not point at each other. All right, so since I have nothing to cover, I'll just like cover whatever non-10 is at the bottom of the barrel in my inbox. I was originally gonna cover this fucking car crash shit, but it just didn't really seem like anything you guys would be into, or I would be all that into, to be honest. But do you remember that guy that yesterday had like had been fired from his job after making a tweet advocating for repealing the 19th Amendment because he saw women celebrating Charlie Kirk's death? The guy who completely disingenuously misrepresented what he said and then played victim because his employers fired him over it. He actually outright lied. He said he was just going after women who celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. That's not what he said. He said, I see mostly women celebrating his death. This has become a big problem. We need to repeal the 19th. He was prescribing a blanket consequence that would affect all women and then playing victim for his conservative beliefs when he got fired. When if you just go like look through his account, it's anything you would consider traditionally conservative. He actually deviates from that, right? To be fair, most modern conservatives do, right? But he has tweets. He has tweets that are degrading like the notion of any brown people in Europe, right? He's going after the 45 Indians that live in Croatia. He's making tweets degrading black people, women, trans people, fucking Jews or whatever. And it's not like I even care, right? That's pretty common online. What I care about is that he's doing the Schrodinger's moderate thing, Schrodinger's conservative, where when the time comes where people actually don't want to maintain association with him because of like his viewpoints that like advocate for taking rights away from like groups of people due to immutable characteristics, he pretends like he's some moderate. He's like just some conservative or some like, you know, moderate leaning conservative or some shit. And it's like, no, actually, like a lot of your takes deviate from John McCain, not gonna lie. Like, just be honest about it. Be honest about what, like, the fuck, it's like so, like, it's so, like, there's nothing I hate more than, like, the people that are just, like, very evidently, fucking, like, far right, but just, like, lie about it, and, like, play the victim as if they're moderates. But one person who didn't take, like, actually, I don't know why I'm saying Benny Johnson didn't do his research, because I'm acting like if Benny Johnson had seen what this guy had actually tweeted, he wouldn't have hired him. Benny Johnson would have seen what he originally tweeted and still hired him. I'm proud to announce that Kangmin Lee has just accepted a position at our growing media company. Kangmin will join Team Benny immediately, making this the single shortest cancellation in modern history. Kangmin will work on our editorial and creative teams at Benny Media. He's a skilled editor and a sharp digital talent. We're very proud to have him join our team. Legal... Oh my god, dude. I didn't know this guy... Huh? I didn't know that this guy... I didn't know... Legal Mindset is like openly like a righty. I didn't know that. I don't know like too much. I know about like the Move East or whatever, and like how dishonest he was about like the Hassan shit. But like this guy was calling for like Kangmin Lee is so stupid because all of his tweets boiled down to I've seen individual examples of someone behaving bad, so I've picked an arbitrary characteristic and I'm going to make a prescription about why that entire group needs to be like given a consequence. That's just like, first of all, being like an actual fucking moron, and you being such a moron with your takes leads you to be like a person making like advocating for taking the rights away from an entire group of people by virtue of an immutable characteristic, which is a totally valid thing for a company to want to break ties with you over. He's like right-wing, but anti-West. And just to be clear, I am against, like, cancel culture. But what I mean by cancel culture is, like, you're going and digging up bad behavior from someone that from, like, 10 years ago that, like, and by the way, if that's how far you have to go back to like dig up something to get mad about, depending on the thing, of course, like you probably don't have a whole lot of like recent shit to really like genuinely justify being mad against this person. But like I hate cancel culture in the sense of like advocating for like just like permanent life ruination and not accepting the fact that people like can change. It's inherently like anti-left wing, by the way. Like a leftist will like tell you he's okay with restorative justice. He'll tell you that like the guy that murdered somebody at 17 is capable of potential rehabilitation, which I'd agree to, by the way. But the guy who like tweeted out like a racial slur online when he was an edgy 15-year-old just like doesn't deserve to be employed now as an adult. I think that's stupid. I think that's anti-leftist, right? That's very different though if the behavior is like presently ongoing, right? If you want to give someone consequences by virtue of their present ongoing unrepentant behavior, that's not really cancellation, is it? That's not really cancel culture, how I'd define it. So it's just really like finding a balance. But I was like highly against, for just for starters, highly, and I still am, like the leftist trend of cancel culture as it was implemented. It's not leftist, just to be clear. People who do it may claim to be, but it is not leftist. That like trend that we saw, you know, from the time I first got online, it had already been taking off when I first came online, up until what, fucking 2021, 2022. Even if you committed a crime and served time for it, you should be able to get a job. Depends on the crime. There are certain jobs, I think it's totally okay to deny employment by virtue of like your felony status. Like if you have ever like if you committed like, I don't know, not even a sex offense, like you got really mad at a fucking child and you punched him in the face, and then you went to jail over that, I don't think you should be allowed to have employment at a place where you have to work with young children because you've shown an inability to tolerate the frustration that comes as a result of working with young children. Because let's make no mistake, young children can be annoying as shit. But yeah, some jobs you should absolutely be able to work. Ladies and gentlemen, big Catholic W today. For those of you that don't know, one of my strongest political positions that I'm the most comfortable with arguing is my opposition to the death penalty. I oppose the death penalty very fucking much. My two biggest things are anti-routine infant male circumcision and anti-death penalty. I know it's a very weird combo. And the Pope gets me, okay? The Pope gets me. Catholic W's.
I think that it's...
I didn't run from the VTuber bat. Somebody banned them from my server. I'll shoot them a DM again. That could be an interesting combo.
I wanted to ask one thing that has become a bit of a divisive subject in the US right now, with Cardinal Cupich giving an award to Senator Durbin. Some people of faith are having a hard time with understanding this because he is or rather, he's for legalized abortion. How would you help people of faith right now decipher that, feel about that, and how do you feel about that?
I'm not terribly familiar with the particular case. I think that it's very important to look at the overall work that a senator has done during, if I'm not mistaken, 40 years of service in the...
It's so weird to hear the Pope like speak with I've never actually heard the Pope talk, but to hear him like speak with like a American accent, like it's like kind of like surreal to me.
The United States Senate. I understand the difficulty and the tensions, but I think as I myself have spoken in the past, it's important to look at many issues that are related to what is the teaching of the church. Someone who says I'm against abortion but says I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life.
They're so fucking true.
So someone who says that I'm against abortion, but I'm in agreement with the inhuman.
So it's like women that advocate. It's like women that advocate pro-choice, but circumcised. They're healthy infant male sons. They're really not pro bodily autonomy. To like, obviously to a reasonable extent. If your kid doesn't want to take like a vaccination that that brings like no irreparable consequences to their life and only benefits, right? Obviously they shouldn't get a say over that. Give your kid the shot. But there is no, in the 21st century, there is no medical justification for circumcision as it normally occurs, right? There are cases where, yes, circumcision does have like individual cases. I think of like fucking tight foreskin or whatever, where it can be justified. But like just to do it out of routine, no, there's no justification for it. It should only be for medical reasons? Yes, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Treatment of immigrants who are in the United States. I don't know if that's pro.
Yeah, so if you're born, well, it shouldn't be done as like routine, right? If it is a case where leaving it on is going to be a medical detriment to the child or jeopardize their health, leaving it on, then yes, you can make that call. For the sake of helping your child medically, yes, then you can say, okay, let's do it, right? But if it's not, and it's just like completely normal, then no, you should not really have that choice. The other problem too you have with arguing for circumcision, it's that a lot of people, rather than feel the guilt, accept the truth about it and feel the guilt over what they did to their own children, they'd rather deny that what they did was wrong, and that also goes for people who were circumcised. Rather than accept that you had it without your consent and a revocable procedure performed on you for no good medical reason that does have very real effects, rather than accept that, you'd rather accept the people who argue against it are crazy, right? But like it's not nearly as routine as it is in like any developed country, with the exception of like Israel, I guess, and certain Muslim countries, than it is in like America. A lot of people are under this like assumption that, oh, in America, like you're circumcised because you're Jewish. No, it's like 50% of like men here are, right? It might have been higher. It might even be higher than that. It's like normal to be cut here. No, I'm pretty sure it is normally done by doctors, because even amongst Christian kids, it's just done like routinely. Unless it's being done for religious reasons, right? Then they have, which is not a justification, by the way. Oh, it's 70%. Got it. I thought it was like 60. But yeah, no. And then there's another argument that like, this is actually not what religious and freedoms are meant to entail, making like irreparable, life-altering decisions because of your unsubstantiated religious beliefs upon someone else who's far too young to understand the implications of said actions. That is actually not what religious freedoms is meant to like entail. You have the right to worship and practice how you want, but to make a decision that cannot be reversed over somebody else by virtue of your unverifiable religious beliefs is absolutely unacceptable, and you are mutilating children. I think people who are circumcised I don't care, to be honest. I don't care about myself. I care about. I went to a bris once. And you know, everyone was there celebrating, and then it comes time for the fucking baby, and I hear this screaming and crying. I was horrified. I was actually just like horrified. I had to excuse myself from the fucking room. I know babies cry, but it was like a screaming cry. Like there's no anesthesia. They like shove like a fucking wine-filled rag in the baby's throat for a second. I was a kid, but like that's where I really started like looking into it. I was just like completely. I'm like, this is horrific. What the fuck is going on here? How is this normal? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they give the fucking newborn a little bit of fucking wine. And no, the shit you hear about, like, the sucking or whatever, that is disgusting, but that only does occur amongst, like, a certain sect of Orthodox Jews, of which I haven't met any. But that on its own, absolutely, should not be legal. But circumcision, especially for religious reasons, shouldn't be illegal. I didn't know they. Yes, that's a regular ceremony. If you're a fucking, if you're Jewish, yes, like a bris is a regular ceremony for your child. Where I think it's called like a moil or something. They are literally just like trained to do this. Did I say shouldn't be illegal? No, it should be illegal. It's disgusting. If you're talking about the sucking part, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. And it's caused multiple children to also get herpes. That's in it. Like, the fact that that already isn't illegal shows that our desire to uphold religious freedoms is completely perverted. Okay? It's like totally perverted. No. Like, many religious people are fucking insane and want to do some insane shit that they can't like actually use like verifiable evidence to justify. And yes, we should restrict what these people are able to do. Absolutely, the state should be restricting that. Too late, you said it shouldn't be illegal. I'm pretty sure I said it should be illegal. Heresy, but the Catholics don't really do that. Like, yeah, you send your kid to Christian school that he grows up to hate. Okay, I get that. Okay, but that's not what I'm advocating for making illegal. Okay, that's not like a permanent. Sure, there's like maybe permanent irreparable like emotional effects, I guess. But like I think we already have laws that are meant to minimize that. Like I grew up. One of my close family friends who's like a fucking parent to me. She's from Ireland originally. And she talked about, actually, she talked about growing up and going to Catholic school in Ireland and how a lot of the people are rebelling against religion because when they went to Catholic school in Ireland I think it had to have been the 1960s they were in school. Beating was just a regular part of being in Catholic school. Like if you got an answer wrong, the nuns would fucking hit you and shit. So a lot of like, I guess like the younger generation have become like less religious. But we've added stuff in there. I think we can minimize the harm of religious schooling through laws like against like corporal punishment of children, right? The traumatizing part doesn't have to be inherent to that, and if that's how you want to exercise your religious freedom with your kids, like sending them to a religious school that does not beat them, to be clear, the beating should be legal, right? Then like that's one thing. I don't really think the state needs to step in, unless like the school, so long as the school is teaching a curriculum that that meets the basics of childhood education for success in the world. But when it comes to actual permanent irreparable body mutilation by virtue of your religious beliefs, that's fucking disgusting. We absolutely need to make it illegal. We actually do make it illegal in regards to routine female genital mutilation as it's practiced in some African religions or societies. I think religious school is bad because you're indoctrinating your kid into fallacious thinking. Yeah, but I think like allowing the state to step in because you're teaching your kid like from a perspective of rule utilitarianism, even if I think it's bad on an individual level, I think allowing the state to step in and come after you by virtue of you like teaching fallacious thinking will lead to far more of a net negative than it would any sort of overall benefits. So although I may disagree on a personal level with sending your child to a religious school, I think I would not be in favor of the state stepping in and barring that outright. I think that's a fine thing to have as a part of religious freedoms. And also the whole brainwashing aspect. If you talk to any kid that went to Catholic school, I know it's probably not a good metric. If anything, by virtue of them going to Catholic school, it actually forced that they actually ended up rebelling against religion entirely. I know many such cases. I don't know if that's the regular, of course, but I think that's religious school in combination with like permittance of outside influences, because then you can actually have a frame of reference for what everyone else is being taught and doing. If the state did have the competence to do what effectively? No, because to allow the state to do that, you would have to remove certain limitations to the government. That it's not about the act itself it's what allowing that act would then also allow as a result of that, right? Like, if you then go and permit the state to be able to enforce something like that, I mean, what else is there going to be? Like, talking about your, like, non sequitur political views at fucking dinner or some shit? Like, I do think, like, religious education of what all of the major world religions believe actually should be like routine in schools, like not in regards to teaching a singular religion, but like I actually think it's like beneficial for kids to, if they're not Christian, to know what the Christians think, to know what the Muslims think, to know what the Jews think, to know what the Hindus think, fucking Zoroastrians, right? Because understanding that also like contextualizes like modern day politics, historical circumstances. Okay. Anyways, I got linked. Let me just check to make sure I didn't miss anything. By the way, if you guys support the stream, as always, a great way to help us out is through Super Chats. The button is... Oh, we hit temp goal. Thank you guys so much. I'm resetting goal. A great way to help us out is through Super Chats. You can donate through the button in the chat. If not, that's totally okay. We also have Streamlabs as an option. If you can't support monetarily or don't want to support monetarily, that's totally fine. Another way you can support is by liking the stream up. Your likes help us out and costs you nothing and means the world to me. So you could do that. You could also subscribe if you're new here and happen to like what you are seeing. Anyways. Where is this? Fuck. So, because we don't really have a whole lot to cover, and you could help us out with that, by the way, by linking what you'd want me to cover, we're just gonna go scrape the inbox and see what might be interesting here. By the way, this whole Pyrocynical shit that everyone always tells me to cover, that video is still not out, and apparently it's being delayed again. Like, that video is not coming. Like, you've better luck waiting for the fucking Dickers Cameron video. Okay, this is a great one. Beloved VTuber artist confessed to a sex crime live. Okay, let's are you serious?
It was late June 2025 when
okay, I'm not doing this. Thanks. I appreciate the recommendation. We're not doing this. Rob's Media made another video.
I hate this guy. I hope he suffers. I hope he loses everything. He belongs in prison.
Go get some therapy. You are sick. You need help. I don't think we should put you down like a puppy yet, but actually, I don't know.
Dude, Sensitive Society. I gotta go visit. I'm not gonna say where he lives, but he actually invited me to go hang at his place like a year or two ago. I don't fucking remember. But this guy, he's got like an Audi R8. They're such fucking cool cars. This guy took me in his Audi R8. I was thrown back in my seat, sick as fuck.
It always comes back to Shad, man.
Apparently he believes some stupid shit, but I don't really care. He took me around in his car. So, I don't know. We'll give him a pass.
One of these degenerates, it always somehow goes back to Shad, man.
These two
Just stop. Just please.
Okay, it's just, maybe with the exception of one of those people, like, this is your community, people. If you still call this is what we have to stop doing. Okay, this is a call to action. I reject the commentary framing. I think anyone else who understands why I would do so needs to stop using that label on themselves as well. Because if you call yourself commentary, this is your community, sir. This is your community. These are your people. This is your commentary community. Okay? The fucking Goy Slop, Chris the Narc talking about Xylee covering Diorio's coverage of fucking Beckett's situation of, and then, or like Ethan Hassan Destiny. You can use slop too. I'm not calling myself a slop tuber. I'm not calling myself a slop tuber. Too much self-respect. We need the world to know we are superior to these fucking people and their fans.
The path of a free speech.
I'm not talking about the Kino Casino and the example I just gave. I don't have any feelings towards them besides the fact they made fun of me once.
Absolute is to get dragged into a conversation.
Which was funny, to be clear. That, like, funny on their end. It was good jokes they made about me.
It shouldn't look like Vito Gesualdi.
So Your Movie Sucks actually commented on this video. I wonder if it's
GrimeTube, buddy. GrimeTube.
Still there. You knowingly created a situation where I had to physically hurt myself to give a proper response. What?
Listen, Your Movie Sucks. The bulls that they have aren't literal bulls. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm. So a little while ago, I made a video detailing the depravity of Your Movie Sucks, a movie reviewer on YouTube who has a history of playing devil's advocate.
Dude, Ali Khan types like a cartoon character. It's like very animated, yuck! Exclamation. This guy like types like a cartoon. He probably sounds like one too. Can anyone find the Dickers stream that Ali Khan called into? I just want to get like a live voice reaction because I call them the muted. The muted are chatters who are regularly involved with my community, which is much appreciated, to be clear. They'll be in every Discord voice chat. They'll be in every single chat, right? They'll join voice chats, but they are always muted. They attempt to conceal their voices through always remaining muted. And there are many theories as to what led to this like little sub community of the muted amongst my ranks. The working theory is their like voices like actually like are hilarious because Louis unmuted. I heard his voice for the first time a few days ago. And listen, I'm being very nice to the guy. I will just say it was a sight to behold. It was like the insults in chat, the one guy's in chat, when you actually hear somebody's voice, they just stop working.
For bestiality and lolicon. He's claimed over and over again that he's actually...
Says you, I know, says me. If you have a worse voice than me, like, I feel for you, actually. I'm Kool-Aid now. I feel for you. I feel for you. Listen, man, voices are like, whether it's good or bad, it's subjective, okay? Just chill. Just chill. $2 from Kalora Vetla. Louis did have the balls to do it, unlike certain individuals, who we can either name or not name.
Actually just arguing for moral consistency, when in my opinion, he's partially doing it to justify his sexual attraction to cartoon animals. He's made numerous responses to me, which are usually Dark Viper-style essays where you can clearly tell he's having an eternal meltdown.
Okay, so he brought up two good points, right? That's not even related to Rob's main argument, but they are good points, nevertheless, that if true, can like actually have like bad implications for Rob's credibility. Okay, YMS claimed Rob classified YMS's review of Prince of Egypt as he did not like it because he's atheist, right? YMS, there was no clip shown to substantiate that claim, right? YMS actively disputes it. So, is Rob's Media going to address that claim?
14 pages! The first one starts with him throwing as many excuses at the wall as possible, like claiming I maliciously released my video while he was at some snobby film festival.
I will agree, by the way. I know because, like, amongst the Queeman watchers, maybe Queeman himself, it's like total YMS backing. I don't know if that's true, to be clear. I know Queeman supports YMS both on a content creator level and on a personal level in regards to his opinions. But, you know, I think that YMS was, like, unironically, like, bad faith in the sense of, like, every single behavior on Rob's part was interpreted in the worst light possible, where certainly there was just, like, no justification to interpret it that way. Like, Rob knew you were out of town, so the only way you could contact or respond to him was DMing him, which he did because he knew that were having wrist problems and it would hurt to type, so he like wanted to cause you physical pain when you type the like that's like totally schizo. Like you could tell you're just like nitpicking like hell at that point. And then most of the responses to like his bestiality points were just like completely fucking either dishonest or did not debunk Rob's framing of his previous statements in regards to bestiality. The point, I forgot what the second good point was, but the first good point that I remember that YMS had made was about the Prince of Egypt take, which is like not even the main point, but if it's true, that's like a bad look on Rob and his like research.
As if I'm constantly tracking his location. I'm honestly surprised this guy leaves his house at all. He also mentions a recent carpal tunnel surgery, saying that he was in excruciating pain for the 5 hours he wrote it. His poor little wrists were crumbling apart at the seams. I mean, I totally feel bad for him, guys. He needs those wrists to jerk off to Lion Penis. It reminds me of Jake Doolittle at the hospital, using it to bait sympathy after he got exposed as a shitty person. Adam also claims he's likely autistic, explaining that's the reason why he had to make his responses so long and drawn out.
That's actually fine. That's a fine excuse. Like, sure, you could say it's cringe, but like, let's not pretend like let's not pretend like it's not like a fucking Aspie, like, fucking, in online content creation, like an Aspie trait to, like, respond with essays, okay? Let's, like, not pretend like there isn't some kind of trend there.
Part of the reason why I think I'm autistic is because I seem to have, like, some kind of, like, obsession with, you know, needing to...
Okay, well, excuse, what is that? Jesus fuck, dude, what is that?
I'm autistic is because I seem to have like some kind of like obsession with, you know, needing to feel like I
get it's not woke. But if you're a male presenting person, yeah, having like long nails like a fucking woman like this that are painted over, you look ridiculous. Okay? I'm not transphobic. If you want to be a woman, be a woman. If you want to be a man, be a man. But if you're a man that's doing this, you look ridiculous. You look like a fucking moron.
I am able to convince people or correct the record in some way of, you know, just being honest, because I know that I'm not an abuser. I know that I'm not attracted to children. I know that I'm not attracted to animals. I don't even jerk it to Lolly. I hate that that's now a thing that people think.
Oh, wow, I'm glad
I didn't even jerk it. I was just, like, slightly aroused. I wasn't, like, straight up jerking it.
Clarify that, Adam. Maybe he is autistic, but...
He thinks he's autistic, not diagnosed. It's so... Dude, I'm sorry. There are certain disorders where it's like, yeah, don't self-diagnose. But then there are others where I don't really care all that much if you're gonna... Because, like, in a case of someone like YMS, like, come on, dude. Come on. I don't give a fuck if he's self-diagnosing autism. Like, he could just go to a doctor. Like, I just know he's gonna go to a doctor and be told the same exact shit. You could just, like, tell. You could just tell. He's obviously autistic.
But it's not an excuse for stating shitty opinions. You're a 34-year-old man, Adam. Grow the fuck up. Stop it.
Yeah, like, is it... Yes. What I would want proof of is that he doesn't have autism. That's what I'd be shocked by.
This pity me bullshit. Your parlor tricks don't work on me, you retard. Because I'm autistic too, and I'm not out here debating why it's okay to suck doggy cock.
Yeah, but that's not... Rob's Media is such a fucking dumbass, dude. He's using the autism point to explain why his responses are long, not justify the contents of his arguments. Dude, Rob's Media is such a fucking idiot.
Yes, I'll address the elephant in the room. His short hair. Bro went to his barber and said, "Yo, give me that Anissa Joan haircut."
Commentary YouTubers
Dude, his haircut looks... Am I the only one that, like, in terms of, like, the thing is, right? The day after you get a haircut, or right after, your hair's always gonna look awkward because your hair needs to set, right? You have, what is it? What's the word? Like, your hair is, like, repairing itself. It, like, sits awkwardly. His hair looks relatively fine in terms of, like, a recent haircut. That looks fine. His hair looks like totally fine. I don't know if I'm like delusional here, but like he looks normal. Besides the nails, he looks like actually I think better than he does with the super long hair.
His short hair. Bro went to his barber and said, "Yo, give me that Anissa Joan haircut."
Commentary YouTubers
It's not even the same type of frame. Just straight. Dude, these people are so mind raped that now they need to still make an iDubbbz Anissa reference when they see short, straight hair. If you have short, straight hair, like, we use iDubbbz and Anissa as our frame of reference. Like, is that how, like, obsessed you are? That you're comparing, like, very basic, widespread things to iDubbbz and Anissa? Like, it's an obsession. It's actually kind of creepy. It is unironically creepy how obsessed people are with iDubbbz and Anissa. I think iDubbbz and Anissa are pathetic. I think that they are cringe. I don't like or watch them, but they haven't done anything where it's, like, to the extent where it's even entertaining to, like, regularly cover them. Like, you could laugh at them every once in a while, but, like, devoting more than a day of attention to them at any given time is pathetic, okay? It's, like, totally pathetic, and at this point, it is, like, outright creepy, okay?
have no idea what it is to work a normal job, let alone put on a whole event.
Now, the main thing I wanted to respond to here is Adam's claims of me being a child groomer and a pedophile. Yes, those are claims he attempts to make.
It's trying to force a fucking lol. It's like literally people, like, at the end of the day, I think it comes down to items don't say the fucking... No, obviously not. There's great criticisms of him. But, like, I noticed, like, a good portion of the chatters that turned on him did turn on him by virtue of, like, his, like, video where he was, like, reflecting on his, like, prior edginess or whatever. And they just, like, want, like, to still be... They're, like, stuck in 2016 and, like, don't like that he's denouncing the type of audience members that they would presently be. I think it's fine to, you know, not want to say the fucking N-word anymore.
This is over the fact that I briefly showed his Not Safe for Work public Twitter account, using it to cite where I found certain images from that I obviously won't show in my video. Adam thinks that simply mentioning it and describing posts on it means I'm luring 13 to 17-year-olds to pornographic content.
I think I think it was unnecessarily flagellating or whatever, the way he went about it, but...
Which is moronic in multiple different ways. For one, I have a content warning at the beginning of all my videos. I've always had the mindsets that older viewers are watching my content, which is why I've covered various risque topics over the years, like disturbing websites, dark history, and more. It's just not something that comes across my mind. Which is why I also don't bother censoring OnlyFans usernames. Second, Adam mentions himself that minors can't access his explicit content on Twitter, as he's enabled settings that block them from seeing it.
Yeah, okay, this guy is trying to pedo jacket Rob, to be fair. Like, I know he's not actually trying to call him pedo, but, like, the whole, like, minors can watch YouTube. Your video is an age restrict. Tons of stuff. You just check off, no, it's not made for kids, and then the rest of the responsibility is actually just on the parents and the platform, right? If you check off, no, it's not made for... Unless you're covering something exceptionally graphic, that even if one minor gets through and watches it, they could be traumatized, then no, saying it's not made for kids is going to be good enough.
And I pointed out in the comment section, the settings that I have enabled on these websites ensure that if there are minors on the website, right, they don't have the ability to access it.
That's a lie. Because I'm assuming it's marked 18 plus, but then, like, you just log in and put your birthday as 18, right? Unless you're in the UK now. But, like, other than that.
And I tested this yesterday, by the way. I tested it.
Which, to be clear, is why I don't know how the UK executes it. But in regards to the the problem with its implementation is in America is there's always like we don't have like a fucking GDRP or GDRP or whatever where and companies will always find like weaselly ways to do shit with your fucking data that you don't know about. But like in principle, under an ideal government, I'd be fine with ID verification for social media. I'd be fine with that. If there's like an actual explicitly enforced policy that upon verification, any information obtained from your ID is deleted by the platform. YMS comes across very disingenuous. Yeah, he does. So does Rob. I hate everyone involved in this, actually. By the way, folks, honestly, great. I was saying this the other day, Shamu. Not to glaze or anything. I don't like to glaze. Shamu's, I watched on stream a very long time ago. Shamu's Grace and Ben Thorpe video. I think he made multiple, right? I think it was the first one I watched. anyone who hears their name, go and watch that video. It's one of the best I've watched in our sphere. It's not even in our sphere really, but it is a great comprehensive video on the Thorpes. I brought it up because I was talking with Dickers the other day. I think Ben Thorpe is one of the most evil people I've ever seen online. And it's like actually crazy that like I hear like there was, I don't know the lore behind it. Was like Grace like in like talks to like do something with Volcal, right? Like the fact that there's like actual like some acceptance of like these people's presence is like totally absurd.
I created a fake account with like a 13-year-old birthday or whatever just to test this out because I take this very seriously, right? I created an account on this website just to test it out. You cannot see any of the media displayed on my page, right?
So how would I be allowing...
It's more than incest stuff. Like, Ben has not just harmed Grace and his other... Like, he's created just a dynamic of infinite harm against his family in the way he pits them against each other and actually gets his daughter that he's more than likely groomed and abused to become an active, willing participant in the abuse of her own mother, the other children, etc., right?
Minors in my audience to access these materials if you've put restrictions in place to prevent that from happening. It makes no sense. Trust me, I don't want to lead minors to that shit. I don't want poor little Timmy to stumble across videos where Adam is recreating Mr.
Well, according to Kinetic Kel, who was talking to the Thorpes, right, apparently a big reason people don't want to work with Grace is because... Apparently a big reason that people do not want to work with Grace is because... her dad insists on being there all the time.
Fans of Big Dick Randy. And while yes, minors could lie about their age on Twitter to access this stuff, the same thing can happen on YouTube with age-restricted videos. So his suggestion that I should do that wouldn't matter at all, as minors are always going to find ways to view this stuff. But Adam isn't exactly helping in this regard. The third reason this is dumb is because Adam has done exactly what he's accused me of, showing people in his audience where explicit materials can be found. He did it in a 2022 video where he watches the movie.
Also, just to be clear, like young kids are not even going to have an interest. Maybe you'll find one isolated example, but that kid easily can just make his account 18, which I think is just what most kids do on here, right? Because like parents don't know shit. But like, what kid is going to be interested in the YMS video? Like your average, like it's not really going to be like if it was a video that is covering a graphically inappropriate topic, but is also at high risk of children watching, then yeah, you can make an argument about setting it to 18+. But this isn't really going to be something either that like kids are going to be attracted to. You could find maybe one, okay, maybe one.
Movie Prey, showing how to access a furry fetish site.
Why can't they use a professional movie budget for CG for something that's actually worthwhile, like pornography, predator pornography? I should look some up right now. None of these are what I wanted. See. They put aliens in there too. There's one with a demigorgon. The top one they have like weirdly human eyes. It's not bad animation though. Holy shit, one of these is 25 minutes long?
It's probably a distress signal coming from this ship. What the hell?
Yes, I'm searching up predator porn. That's how invested I am in the film.
By his own logic that he set up to demonize me, this must make Adam a groomer, right? Well, according to him in his video response, it's okay.
Hold on. By the way, folks, quick plug. I'm getting on the Minecraft server. Just a quick reminder, if I join and you, like, kill me or try to fuck with the stream, I will not give you a public reaction, because I know that I do it to myself and I incentivize it further. I will just ban you from the server. I have to put my foot down at some point, and I want to be able to do background gameplay without everyone trying to be the funny guy that wants to kill me on stream. Okay? Thank you.
Because he wasn't showing a specific page on there, just the website where you can find them.
I don't describe any of it. It's not on screen, right?
But also, if you want to help out the streams, we're halfway to Streamly goal. You can donate through Super Chats, Streamlabs link down below to support what we're doing. If not, totally okay. Make sure to also like up the stream and sub if you're new here. Also, Clippers, very much appreciated. They help with the promotion of this VODless channel because I'm a lazy fuck. You can go and clip for us and participate in the discussions in this community by joining our Twitter community and our Discord server. Links to both will be down below.
Editors who made this edited version of the video decided, okay, we're going to make this into a little joke. They put the words E621, which is not a specific page that leads to these images, right? This is just a vague, this is like saying, oh, Pornhub exists, right? I don't even know if the images there were like from E621. Could have been on fucking, I don't know, Rule 34. Like, you're allowed to say Rule 34 in a video, right? I didn't describe any of these images beyond saying, oh, a demigorgon's in one, haha, that's funny. I'm referencing that a website exists, right? Just saying, haha, funny porn. And then there's some images that are so censored that I don't even know if they're porn. Like legit, like I don't even know because they're censored to the degree where like you can't tell, and that's the point, right? Where like there's no sex. I don't even. Yeah, there was no sex acts in the images anyway. It was just like the context of that image would have been, oh, they're just posing. There weren't even.
What is he? I don't even know what he's dude, this guy sucks. Rob's Media. Honestly, this is DMCA-able. Honestly, YMS needs to DMCA Rob's Media. This is absurd. Completely absurd. Completely ridiculous. I did kind of zone out there for a sec.
There weren't even any sex acts in the images that were heavily censored.
Okay, but it's clearly pornography. You refer to it as predator porn, you fucking homunculoid. I didn't even show censored porn in my video. I just mentioned the existence of your account to mock you. Context, which he is well aware of. There's also this part in one of his Twitter responses, where he says leading people to real pornography is not as bad as drawn pornography, even though both
Dude,
are
what the fuck is that? Why do people just like feel like the need to keep coming? What is this? Also, it's like really ugly. What is this fuck doing? I feel like I'm in Terraria. They're just adding so much new fucking. What is this thing? It's like head is spinning. Can I kill it? Holy fuck. Also, the other thing too is everyone just like helps themselves. So whatever the fuck is in my chest. Oh, where'd my spider eyes go? Somebody fucking took them. I love my life, truly. It's a great life, folks.
at the end of the day. I'm not surprised he made this argument, seeing this is the same guy who plays devil's advocate for Lolicon. Another difference in his eyes is that him showing off this website is clearly a joke, but mine isn't because, well, the joke is on him.
It's not in the context of, let's shame this person, right? It's not in that context. It's in the context of, haha, this movie's so boring that I'm gonna look up porn.
He doesn't like the fact that his Not Safe for Work Twitter account was brought up, because Nicholas Diorio and I kink-shamed him.
Why was it important for you to knowingly direct...
Luckily, we can't see what you're talking about.
...minors towards 18 plus accounts of myself within the context of kink shaming and describing.
He's not direct. It's like such a disingenuous fucking framing, right? It's like I watch a lot of like history documentaries on YouTube, right? That where like you actually see like discussions of like, I don't know, like fucking mass rape in Nanking, and it's like, why are we directing minors to... First of all, it's not a video that where there's going to be a high risk of minors watching. Secondly, it's marked as not made for kids, which is just like the routine and commentary, because like I think if you do mark it as made for kids and it turns out it's not, I'm pretty sure like there's a higher risk of it getting fucked with, or I don't remember exactly why. Hold on, why? Whoever, oh, by the way, whoever just said these are mine, I would never fucking place a chest here, because I don't believe in like making like a fucking disgusting looking house. This is just like horrible placement. And I don't know what these guys are gonna do without their chests, but they could go somewhere else. They're homeless.
In detail, who's going into what hole and what race they are, and saying here is where you should go find them. Why was that important to you?
It wasn't important. I just wanted to kink shame you because it's funny to me. You're a public figure, Adam. You've spent your 15+ year long career giving opinions on controversial subjects. If you're going to do that and post videos of yourself getting blacked on Twitter, people like me are gonna mock you for that. Womp womp, loser. If you don't want to be made fun of like this, stop reviewing
it's just like also like Rob's Media is trying to... Also, dude, what the fuck? What is this placement? Get your shit in order, people. What would ever make you think this is like the random like tools chest, you fucking idiot? Oh, I'm just gonna put like a bunch of random tools in here. Go fuck yourself.
Details of your personal life. You're a fucking movie reviewer, dude.
For 2 years of my life, I tried to oppress it. It wound up with me getting addicted to fucking cocaine and crystal meth. Like,
Base?
That was not fun, but I'm a strong person. Like, I'm a fucking sub. Like, I literally can't get off to people that don't want me.
We know, dude. All it takes is one look at you. Now, at the end of the day, I don't actually think Adam gives a fuck about child safety. He just wants to discredit my video before anyone can see it by attacking my character. I mean, this guy's retweeting people who are calling me a pedo. Oh, and what a shock. The person who's saying this is a Destiny Glazer. They're defending him against his actual admission.
Oh, this Night Kitten person? I don't really know where they stand, because, like, they follow me, but I don't know if that's because Diorio followed me at one point or whatever. Why does this guy... Oh, this guy's on the gas. I want to be on the stream, guys. I really want attention. I really want to be on the fucking stream. I'm going to kill your ghast if you keep moving it. I'm going to kill it. I'm just going to kill it. I'm just going to kill it. Okay, cool. I said I wasn't going to give them a reaction. I'm already fucking up. Also, last thing. Everyone do me a big favor. Move all this shit that's like right here over onto this side. Because I want to expand the staircase. And this is just like horrible placement to put it like right here. So you're like you get rid of this furnace, right? because we have a blast furnace, and the only thing you need to do is to move these over onto the side. Thank you.
Into having CSAM material, but no, I'm the pedo for mentioning Adam doing porn. Yet despite lying about me multiple times regarding this, he's whining about how I won't pin his lengthy essay under my video. Oh, and he wants me to heart it as well. Yeah, let me heart the comment where he slanders me as a groomer. The fact that I wouldn't do this drove him insane, as he DM'd me, begging for a schizo meltdown to be pinned. But this wasn't
drove you insane because you're literally like, yes, I believe people like, I believe like if you're like making a video that is very critical and making serious claims of another individual, you absolutely should platform their response. I think that's like basic integrity. Now to be fair, him going insane over it not being pinned is like a bit absurd because it was gonna come up regardless. But like, second of all, like I think what was really cringe is the fact that, hold on. What was really crazy is the fact that like Rob was just like totally unwilling to debate him. And then people go and sweep for that by saying that it's you know, it's not, since when are we a part of the debate community, which is like total cope, it's total run speak. Okay, debating is not inherent to a community. Just because it's like the thing that Destiny did or the thing that people also sometimes do in politics does not make debating like a fucking hold on. Replace the fucking wood planks in your house, by the way, or I'm burning it, just to be clear. This is the ugliest fucking house I've ever seen. The same goes for that house. I don't know why you'd ever think this is a good look. The person who built that house barely even fucking tried. I mean, this is just like a fucking horrible looking house, just to be clear. Like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, great setup, man. Honestly, great. You had one fucking job. Incompetence. I can't fucking stand it.
The reason why I blocked him. I did so because he went as far as requesting to follow my girlfriend on Instagram, seemingly in order to send her a DM too. Buddy, she doesn't want to talk to you. She's busy playing Overwatch. This to me crossed a bit of a line, and I've had no interest in directly engaging with him since. And really, there is no point in doing that. He'd rather smear me as a groomer because he thinks it's a funny meme.
The guy who made the video refused to pin my comment for transparency. And yes, in that comment, I say this is grooming behavior, and I call him out in all caps, and you know, I do a little schizo shit, right? I was ass mad because I was typing this as I was at TIFF, in between fucking, excuse me, running around watching 4 movies a day. In my comments, in the exact same thread, I give the most charitable interpretation. I go, here's exactly what you did, and it's not a quippy soundbite. It's not a fucking meme, right? So anybody who's like, oh, wait, they showed porn to minors, in the same thread goes, oh, okay, that's what he meant.
Just let me check it. Hold on, I don't want to make sure I missed anything. That was from Kalora Vetlo, what happened to the Kool-Aid in? I just log in, I get frustrated, man. It's a problem. I log in, I just get frustrated because there's like very basic fucking things that I, you know, I have, you know what my problem is? This is my problem. Okay, this is my problem. I have a very rigid vision for the way something should be done, and then I'm working with other people on it, okay? And they just do things that are in direct contradiction to that vision, and I sometimes forget that they're people with their own interests and visions. And it's like, you know, if you want to build your little wood planky house or whatever, but it... Thanks for that. I'm not opening this on stream. I'll open it all. I'm not opening it on stream. Yeah, nice fucking try, dude. Nice fucking try. Good thing I knew not to open that on stream.
Even on Twitter, it's like within the same fucking thread.
There's no use in arguing with him. He'd rather misinterpret things and lie. I made this clear in my original video. By the way, this conversation would go on for multiple days. To give Null some criticism, he shouldn't have even tried engaging with this guy. Adam is never going to change his position. Null should have just called him a dog fucker and left it at that. Now I'm sure you're well aware that my original video was briefly taken down on YouTube, and I do think Adam had something to do with it. He claims that showing a screenshot of his NSFW Twitter account violates YouTube's community guidelines, despite no actual pornographic content being shown. I also never linked to it, as some have claimed. But coincidentally, only a few hours after Adam released this Twitter statement, my video was taken down.
Suspicious.
However, YouTube claimed it was...
but any number... Wait, hold on. But isn't it equally plausible that any fucking number of his fans who were reading that could have... Even though that's just a criticism, not an incitement to report your video by virtue of that, isn't it also possible that any of his fans that read your that read his statement could have also done the exact same thing? Like, I feel like that's just like a assumption that you can't really substantiate, nor can he go and disprove. So it's like... I don't know what you're looking for.
for showing a clip of Mil.
Yo, Flowers from Green, do you have any tips for my house? Yeah, don't put dirt on the outdoor section. Like, a dirt exterior looks like fucking shit. And Fix with the 5 with the lemon. Thank you so much. We're 40 away from Streamly Gold. You guys are the best.
Reading one of Adam's own Reddit posts, where he defends bestiality. The funny thing was...
He can disprove by showing his flag history? No, he can't, because we'll just see he didn't flag it on his main account. But plenty of YouTubers don't use their main account for browsing and watching content. It's also equally as plausible that he could have made... Like, if he shows that, that's not going to be good enough to the standards of his detractors, right? Because it's going to be... He can't... I would do that if I were him. But then, when they go and say, which they will say to be clear, oh, well, you could have just done it on another account. Be like, okay, so if you were me, what could you possibly provide that would be able to disprove this claim? And of course, they're not going to have an answer for you. If they do have an answer for you, and it's like a claim that's like actually or if it's a win condition that's actually possible, then go and do that thing. But other than that, like, I know exactly what they're going to say if he went and did that. I need string, dude. We need like a string. Also, there needs to be an item frame on like every chest when we move it, because like, why is there like an item frame on like some chests and not others? Like, it's like I had to go make a few the other day to put them, but like whoever was doing this just like, I guess gave up like halfway through or something. I don't fucking know. But I do need some fucking string. I'm also like kind of scared to put anything in my house because like people have been using it as like a fucking public storage area.
The video where I got that clip from was still up, though it was age restricted. So I told Sensitive Society, who also made a video on this, to take his video down so he wouldn't risk getting a warning or a strike from YouTube. Adam would go on to brag about the videos being taken down, lying by omission to make it seem like we took our videos down willingly, though luckily, mine did go back up. But it is age restricted.
Well, he could've-
Adam claims I'm making this all up, saying that it's common for YouTube to give the incorrect reason for a video removal.
And then in his community posts,
he could have literally just been doing, by the way, literally just been doing what this guy was fucking doing, right? Making an assumption, which also, like, not provable, but like an assumption about why the video had been taken down, right? Dude, I gotta sort my own chests and start filling these fucking item frames, because this is like ridiculous.
Saying that it was dinged for a completely other reason, and Nick just kind of believes him on that. He shows that like, oh, the timestamp's wrong on the thing that they sent, which has happened to me a billion times. Like anybody who's been on YouTube would know. Like if you get like any kind of like strike from YouTube, or you know, if you get anything from YouTube, more often than not, the timestamp's wrong, right? When I got dinged for having like 9/11 footage in one of my videos as a joke, like way back when.
Funny joke, dude.
I had to surf around because the timestamp they provided, I was like, what? That just leads to a random thing. What? And then you have to surf around and be like, oh, okay, this is probably the issue. Either Rob doesn't understand that, or he's coping and lying. It's kind of weird.
Maybe that was the case years ago, but if my video was removed for showing that Twitter username, then why is a claim for...
Why even add this as a point if you can't substantiate it? Just to be clear. Like, I don't understand, like, Rob's fucking mindset. I didn't understand this about Nick Andros either. And I said this to him, and, like, for some reason, Bobka, of all people... By the way, Bobka, if you're watching, Bobka's been asking to meet up with me for quite some time. If you're not doing anything tomorrow, I will go do something with you. But she was saying this, and I thought it was like a fucking retarded point. Sorry, we're trying to move away from using that word publicly. I thought it was a very stupid point. Why is this not working? That, like, oh, it was actually good that, like, Nick Andros, like, made, like, the legal point he was totally unsure of and then, like, actually incorrect about in his fucking video on Mutahar. I thought that was, like, totally unnecessary. Follows from you, Vana, Paracharacter doing a classic mic drop. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. No, guys, you don't understand. Dickers has a totally real life German girlfriend. He was actually recounting to a conversation between the two of them the other day, where she went and she said, "Oh yeah, Dickers, I am a totally real woman, and I totally exist, and I am totally your girlfriend, and like real and everything, and it's definitely not a made-up character. And I think that it is ridiculous that Aiden would accuse me of not being real." Real quote that she said.
audio and not visual content? How about read the fucking screenshot, you stuck up little cunt? And how about you admit to wanting my video removed or restricted so less people can see it? You're very afraid of this becoming mainstream, but all this did was enable the Streisand effect. Adam's other main tactic against me.
I actually called Dicker's girlfriend on the phone and she said, "Girlfriend? Was? Ich bin ein Mann." I was like, "Oh, sorry, sir." And Schuldigung. No, that's not sorry. Sorry is what? I forget what sorry. Fuck, I forgot what sorry is. No, and Schuldigung is excuse me.
Was to downplay the severity of my video without directly showing my arguments. It once again reminded me of Vosh, specifically his livestream response to Ethan Klein, where he never actually shows any clips.
Yes, tut mir leid, yes. Yes, I don't know why I just forgot. I have not gone on Duolingo in like a year.
Adam actually does something similar. Not once in his hour-and-a-half long response video does he show a clip from my video. Instead, he yaps on and on about how I'm bad faith, while giving vague, shitty examples. He claims I left out context about why he argued with Null, the owner of Kiwi Farms.
The context that was left out of the original video is that I'm not arguing about Kara the Wolf. I'm only in there because I was mentioned in the video because people were comparing me. I think it was Null himself. Like, this is a long time ago. I was only in there because people were trying to connect the dots like Rob.
Yet if you watch my original video, I do explain the context. The funniest instance of this is when Adam started an argument with Null, the owner of Kiwi Farms, after he uploaded a video in late 2018 talking about the zoo sadist, Wolf. In that video, he makes the claim that Adam is part of the growing normalization for fucking dogs. The one time he does actually add context, it only makes him look worse. When I brought up Adam engaging with Shadman on Twitter, he adds on worthless excuses.
As soon as he drew Keemstar's daughter, that was the situation where he was no longer doing things that involved consensual adults. He was involving people that were not consensual adults. That's a clear line that was crossed.
I think he did shit before that, just to be clear. But to be honest, if you're like, what is it, a rationalist or whatever, then yeah, that would probably be the thing that crosses the line for you. If you're somebody that's under the belief of like, oh yeah, like drawing like fake children doesn't cause any harm, etc., etc. Drawing fake children doesn't cause any real harm, then like, yeah, like it wouldn't cross the line for you until he did draw a real child. But then also it's like, if you're Adam and you're like sitting there, and you're like, oh, well, actually this guy who made a bad video on me, his video is bad because he talks about like cringe embarrassing OnlyFans on something that minors could access because he didn't like check off this like checkbox that would somehow work because minors online will definitely like admit that they're 18, especially when they don't have parents that are even like willing to enforce or stop them from watching videos about why won't this fucking whoever broke this, like I actually like hope you no, I'm chill, I'm cool. Such a somebody walks into the house, okay, somebody walks in, they're like, what does Aiden want right now? Let me break the thing that makes his fucking let me just like break this, let me put it on the floor. I honestly, like, I want to study your brain, whoever thought that was a good fucking idea, to just, like, understand, like, what's going on in there. Because it's, like, actually, like, a fucking comedy, okay? Like, how absurd your thought process is. What a stupid fucking idea. What a stupid fucking idea. Sorry, Cool Aiden's back again.
I don't think I ever defended that, ever. Right? I don't know, I don't think there's any interactions of me and him after that point, and if there were, I probably didn't know about that.
Yeah, he interacted with Shadman twice after this. The second occurrence was dug up and archived by a Kiwi Farms user following this response stream. He's giving himself plausible deniability here, and he then downplays the interaction I showcased in my video.
I think there's literally 2 interactions, and both of them were me not responding just directly to him, but you can see like 3 other people tagged in all of these, because there was a big comment thread, and then I would make a joke. I made a joke like, heh, draw my horse persona getting railed by Scar or whatever. Self-deprecating.
Funny joke. If he didn't have someone draw the exact same thing for you years later. Alongside not showing clips, Adam has downplayed his past statements in his Twitter response. He wrote, 10 to 15 years ago, I shared my personal perspective on various controversial moral philosophical issues, and because I was in my early 20s, I didn't phrase myself as well as I would have today. I pointed out in my video that he was still making these statements as recent as a year ago, though he spends his new response restating them in a more palatable and optics-friendly way.
People
get good, kid. Get good. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Get fucking good.
Asked me, how is it possible for an animal to consent to a human being, right? And my answer was, the same way it consents to another animal. Now people have interpreted that as me saying, animals want to have sex with human beings, and therefore it's all good or whatever.
Animals which evolve more on like evolutionary traits that like influence their well, we also have evolutionary traits that influence our behavior, but we also are capable of like higher thinking and like rationalizing our ourselves into like certain positions that we were not evolutionarily kind of predisposed to having. Animals mate because. Oh, dude, I just got 66 fucking. You died. Now you're like a sore loser about it. Oh my! Now this guy's going to get my shit. This fucking fox. Stop him from getting my shit, dude. Okay. I have to go back and get. I have to go back now and like fucking get all my levels back. 66 fucking levels, by the way. 66 levels, just to be clear.
People have interpreted that as me saying all actions, you know, sexually towards animals are permissible because of that. That is not my position. My position is that, sure, it's possible, right? So when someone presents me with this is 1000% not possible, and I go, okay, well, it's probably possible.
Despite this, he still claims there are ways that animals can consent to humans.
Oh, shit!
Meaning he hasn't learned.
Shit! Sorry, I wasn't looking at chat. My bad. Yo, Junk Drawer Gaming with the 2. Aiden, go look at what Green is doing to the bridge.
Jack shit. He claims that he was always speaking from an animal's version of consent, meaning he's implying that standard to humans.
It's not informed consent, right? It's not the human standard of consent. I was only ever talking about the perspective of the animal, which people who get really fucking emotional about this just forget or don't have the ability to wrap their heads around, right?
Later in the stream, he quadruples down on his take that there are certain circumstances where it's okay for bestiality to occur.
To reiterate, you know, having sex with children is bad. I don't want to see people having sex with animals. I would prefer people not to. I would say in most.
It is literally this entire thing. It's like one step forward, 2 steps back. We like make something look nice, and then some fucking idiot comes along, like this guy right here. Let me just explain to you what happened. His house looked beautiful. It was a very nice house. It made the skyline look great. Okay. He decides he's gonna go and move out. Okay. And he decides that because he's moving out, he's gonna do what they do in like the fucking shithole he crawled out of, and he's gonna blow up the house because he's leaving it. Right? He's gonna blow up the house because he's leaving it. He blows up this beautiful house, ultimately deciding, by the way, that he's gonna stay there anyway. And when he rebuilds it, he decides to make it the most ugly fucking piece of shit I've ever stared at. He thinks that using jungle fucking wooden planks, like, actually, like, looks good. This looks horrible. That looks horrible. That certainly looks horrible. That's actually a candidate for getting fucking blown up. This guy is an idiot. Oh, I want attention. No. Alright, I gotta go fucking do my thing, bro.
Most cases, it's probably bad. There's some ways in which it's probably not that bad. I don't know. Maybe not worth throwing someone in jail over it again. You know?
You cannot show me. This is such, like, even though, like, he's doing the logic brain thing, this is what he's trying to do. Like, something that everyone is, like, innately grossed out by. But hey, if we, like, logically, like, maybe there's more nuance here if we, like, use logic or whatever. But if you actually break down his logic, it's also really bad. Like, even from, like, a logical standpoint, like, hold on. Even from, like, a fucking logical standpoint, he doesn't understand, like, that there is actually, like, harm to an action besides, like, the immediate harm of that action in isolation, right? It's like, what is it? It's like, there could be, like, you could find an individual, this is an example I like to use, where a drunk driver goes and he, like, gets home safe, right? And it's like, sure, nothing happened there, whatever. But permitting drunk driving on a wider scale, you know, reducing that rule, is going to have significant harm on a much wider scale, regardless of that individual isolated example.
Animal breeders, literally, again, this is a scientific thing. Shouldn't be controversial.
What do you mean by that?
Despite this guy saying over and over again that he doesn't support zoophilia, he always seems to allow exceptions. And then, a little birdie named Nick Andros sent me a link to his old Silent Hill 2 playthrough.
And by the way, I'm always against the, oh, you're arguing in favor of something, therefore you must have some personal stake in its defense. Like, you must be a member of that given group because you see nuance on this issue. And I've always been against that, like, thought process, just to be clear. But with YMS, and even Vosh, it's one of those cases where it's not the mere fact that they're arguing for something we all find gross that would, like, lead you to say, oh, you're defending it or you must like it, right? Because I think that's just, like, a bad mindset to have in general, because I think people should be allowed to argue for anything that their logic would support. But also, with him specifically, it's like his logical inconsistencies that only seem favorable and charitable when discussing this one given subject that make him look suspicious in his defense of it. An example would be like, oh, look, this other bad thing, i.e. like forcible animal breeding, he claims to care, I guess, about harm reduction if he's okay with acts that allegedly don't cause any harm to the animal. And with a harm reduction frame of view, he looks at it like, okay, animal breeding is bad, or whatever. Forcible animal breeding is bad in, like, the context of, like, the meat industry. Sure, we could all get behind that. And this other thing, you know, fucking animals for sexual pleasure is bad, and it's illegal as a result. And this other thing, this other bad thing is legal, so let's make both legal. That's not consistent with being somebody that's in favor of harm reduction. That's not consistent with, like, a utilitarian outlook. That's just you want to justify allowing the other thing. That's literally what you wanted, like.
Where he gives a hypothetical about quote-unquote consensual zoophilia.
Goats are farm animals. I don't see anything wrong with having sex.
Aiden was the one kid that would get angry when other children were having fun at your I did do that shit, yeah. I did do that shit. I, like, was like a fucking, I think my mom said I was like a little dictator growing up or some shit.
With a goat. We should be able to rape a goat. You're able to eat them. They're literally currency. Which animals should you not be able to rape? Humans. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm not a supporter of animal rape. I'm a supporter of consensual zoophilia. I don't encourage it. I'm not going to convince someone to try it. I've never tried it. I don't intend on ever trying it. But I recognize that people exist that will live their whole lives with an urge to do something like that. And meanwhile, while every other person on the planet gets to fulfill their eternal psychological, emotionally/physically driven urges, these other people on the planet that are attracted to the wrong thing somehow aren't able to do that, despite not harming animals in any way that they wouldn't be harmed through any other.
Well, no, because the other things that unnecessarily harm animals aren't a necessity either, and the argument you'd want to make if you weren't justifying it and genuinely just were against the prospect of harming animals would be, okay, let's ban these other things, which is like, which is fucking, I don't know who redid this whole place. It looks fucking horrible. Which is like, oh, it's on this side. Why would you, like, build a fucking wall? Dude, people, like, let me just, like, put down random they're droolers, okay? They're droolers. This is how droolers play this fucking game, okay? They just, like, walk in and they, like, break a fucking block unnecessarily or do something without fucking thinking about it. It's just, like, these people are insufferable. They're insufferable human beings, okay? They're insufferable human beings. My life would be better without them. May God curse their families, okay? It's fucking ridiculous. I'm just gonna, like, do something that nobody asked for that's, like, a major inconvenience. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Non-sexual activity, you know?
Just, like,
to suggest that there's no such thing as consensual human/animal sex is to be the most naive person on the fucking planet. Dogs try to hump your fucking leg. That's all the evidence I need. I don't have to have sex with
That's not dog... Once again, I've made this argument before. You know, my dog is neutered, right? He doesn't have a sex drive. Or I guess, I don't know if that's true they completely lack a sex drive, but when you neuter them, at least, they, like, stop trying to mate with, like, bitches or whatever. Why'd everything just go what the fuck was that? Okay. you know, like he doesn't have like he doesn't try to like fuck female dogs. But my dog still humps shit, and he does it because he still has territorial behavior, like does like behavior that he believes is like dude, what the fuck is that, dude? Behavior that he believes is like protecting his territory or like letting like marking his scent or something. It makes like dogs have like a need to like say, hey, this is mine, and like that's I guess how he feels like he is doing that. But that doesn't mean my dog wants to fuck something he hums.
An animal to know that animals don't have the same type of reservations that human beings do when it comes to sex. If it feels good, they're probably okay with it. If they try to
dogs pee on stuff all the time, yeah, and it's marking, right? It's something about they like this, they like the scent, or no, not like they like the scent. They like to mark their scent as a way to tell other dogs, this is mine or something, right? It's like it's actually a method of like communication amongst each other. It's pretty interesting. That doesn't mean they want to fuck you. Dogs have an evolutionary urge for sex. They don't understand like the concepts of like recreational, pleasurable. Like, they have like a lot of even their behavior that they do for fun is like it's all rooted in evolution. Dogs, same with us, right? Humans have a sex drive for evolutionary purposes, but we're aware enough where we actually just like do it for like occasional recreational pleasure. Like dogs fuck because they've evolved to obviously like reproduce. To like because that's like a major what are the factors that drive evolutionary traits again? It's something about like factors like you'll evolve to have or lose traits that affect the ability to reproduce, right? Like it's purely evolutionary why they fuck.
Bite you or run away, that's probably a sign that they're not okay with it. So the argument that, oh, you can't tell if it's consenting or not even though it's clearly enjoying itself. Okay, it's such bullshit. I can't believe people. I can't believe how much of society is just dictated by people saying, I don't like it, or ick, that's gross, or they're not a part of my tribe.
I can agree with that to some extent. The problem is, like, your argument, even if we're doing, like, the whole rationalism thing, doesn't work, right? Then what I would want to ask, I'd love to have a combo with YMS, to be clear, but, like, what I'd then want to ask him is, like, do you think he'd be down to have a convo? I mean, I'll shoot him a DM. I think that could be an interesting conversation. What I would, like, then be, like, looking to ask is like, okay, then what like drives your like system of morality, how you determine what's bad and good? And if he says like if it causes like he probably believes like if it the outcomes or whatever because if he's arguing for there's some cases where it ends up being fine. It's like, okay, even if you're a consequentialist, like allowing this or permitting this thing in general is going to cause more harm than good. So surely you'd be in favor of making it illegal, right?
It's disgusting to me. It's disgusting to me. Human-animal sex is not nearly as disgusting as the mentality.
And no, by the way, I'm not gonna just have him in here and I think it's gross, just to be clear. I obviously think bestiality is disgusting, right? And it's the same, the reason I'm against it is the same reason I'm against factory farming. It's the same reason I'm against, like, yes, I believe that, like, harm to animals is, like, is a horrible thing, right? Unnecessary harm to animals. Unless you can argue that the harm is like, inherently will just like cause a net outcome. For example, like purely in theory, I know I'm not a vegan. I would love to be one day if I wasn't already malnourished enough. There's ways I can obviously get all my nutrients in and still be vegan. Like theoretically, I like veganism to some extent. I actually think there's a great argument for being allowed to kill invasive species, obviously. And I think like that would actually be an okay way to eat meat, because I think the outcomes would be like of a net positive if we like incentivize people to like eat lionfish and stuff, or eat iguanas, or eat fucking green crabs.
That discriminates against people who have never abused animals.
$5 from Not Spencer. As someone who breeds animals, I find this whole thing humorous. The amount of animals that have just tried to mate with me would make Rita jealous. Interesting. But the reason they try to mate with you is because they've evolutionarily been programmed to do that to ensure reproduction. And they probably don't realize that you're a separate entity that's not a part of their own species that reproducing with would not lead to, you know, the production of offspring. I don't know, because then when you talk about humans, you can be like, oh, well, humans evolved for that reason too. But humans consciously understand when they're fucking that humans are capable of higher thinking. So when humans are fucking one another, they consciously understand we're doing this for pleasure as opposed to like wanting to have kids or not, right? Like they can consciously understand like, oh, this instance of fucking you won't result in having kids because I'm wearing a condom, right? Animals purely evolutionarily were programmed to do it so they could have kids. They don't realize that fucking your leg is not going to lead to having a kid. It's not like they consciously think about that, but...
Animals that are attracted to animals. Zoophilia laws. I'll say this again. I went on the same rant in like 20 other...
Maybe that could be a good argument. That, like, animals can't consent to sex with humans because animals don't understand that fucking a human is not going to lead to reproduction. Maybe that's from a purely heckin' rationalist standpoint. Maybe that would be a good argument.
videos. Zoophilia laws are laws that exist that only affect people that are consensually having sex with animals without abusing them. Animal abuse laws already exist. If somebody had sex with an animal and the courts determined that the animal was abused by somebody having sex with that animal, then they would already go to jail over animal abuse laws. Laws that exist against bestiality or zoophilia literally only affect people who were not abusing the animal. So if somebody sucks a dog's dick,
wait,
or somebody...
hold on, let me go back on this. Yeah, I think it's very disingenuous, like when Beckett does the argument of, oh, why are you having like discussions about law? Like people are gonna think you're like into that. I don't remember Beckett's quote exactly, but I hate the idea of people should be, there's a negative implication to somebody even debating a concept in general. I think all concepts, regardless of how disgusting they are open to debate, and debate should be encouraged because debate allows us to arrive at certain truths. And I think that the framework of, oh, it's actually just like suspicious to debate this thing in general is probably not a great framework to work on. Now, is there a greater likelihood for having reasonable reason to be suspicious because someone's debating something? Sure, but not just because they're debating it. It would be, okay, how does their like logical process work in the course of debating it? And that's what we would say for YMS, right? The way he argues in regards to sex with animals is done so relative to the way you would probably watch him argue for anything else. The way he conducts himself here would indicate he has some personal stakes in those.
He, like, bends over and a dog starts fucking their butt and they get caught. Like, even if they just didn't move or whatever, even if they just, like, lubed up and let the dog do what it wanted to do or something, and they got caught, and the dog clearly wasn't abused, and everybody in the courtroom determined that there was no abuse taking place, they would go to jail. That's what those laws are for. That's what those laws are for, and it's disgusting to see...
You can argue, like the thing is, right, we don't just make things, we don't only make things illegal because they result in harm every time, right? That's, like, fucking moronic. A lot of things are illegal that don't necessarily are not necessarily harmful every single time, but putting the general rule in place reduces harm overall, right? So even if you find an instance where the dog isn't traumatized or some shit, disincentivizing engaging that kind of behavior with animals in general is probably going to prevent harm. Is probably going to prevent a bunch of harm and not actually then allowing it would, because allowing it wouldn't really do anything good, and would just bring unnecessary harm.
That people are openly willing to send people to jail for literally victimless crimes.
His fans soon start linking bestiality porn in his chats.
Don't post that shit in chat. Don't post links. I'm pretty sure certain states have laws against that, so I don't want any of that porn in this chat. Animated porn, that's okay.
If I go out drunk on the 4th of July in a crowded neighborhood and start just shooting my pistol into the air, right, on the street, I'm gonna get arrested, even if the bullet doesn't hit anyone, right? And it's actually fine I get arrested. Most would agree it's fine I get arrested because I just did something that's insanely reckless that could have resulted in harm. Just because it didn't result in harm this time does not mean that now, as a general principle, we should just, like, allow this thing.
But I would ask that mods would regulate to make sure. I didn't even click on the link, so I don't know if what you posted was legit or not, but I'm just saying. No.
Is this chat? What chat does he want it in? What chat do I want what in? Bad analogy because you committed the act? What? Oh, is like the claim like, oh, because you would be comparing it. Where are you comparing it to what he said where the dog comes up and like fucks you and you just permit it? Is that what he was saying? So because you did the act of shooting and the dog did the act of fucking, it's not comparable, right? Is that what you're gonna say? Because if that is what you're gonna say, then I can hit you with a new analogy, right? What if I allow my two 3-year-olds of their own accord pick up my bottle of pills, okay? Start running around with my open bottle of fucking pills, and I don't do anything about it. I just sit there. I don't do anything about it. Just because they didn't eat the pills this time does not mean I have not just been insanely negligent with my children, where if somebody recorded that or something, like it wouldn't warrant a CPS investigation and some sort of potential charge, okay? Just because they didn't eat the pills this time, that like the children were the ones who picked it up, to be clear, and I just didn't stop them. But we'd still all argue that by not doing anything, I've just created a very reckless circumstance that jeopardizes the children's safety and should therefore be charged even if harm didn't occur in this individual instance, because the rule in general reduces harm.
No actual animal porn in my chat, please. I don't want that shit.
This speech about animal consent goes on for another 10 minutes. It's absurd. I won't play the whole thing for time's sake, but I promise you, no context is being cut. I will link the full video down below. It starts at 40 minutes in. This isn't him joking around or something.
Yeah, just to be clear, YMS never refuted anything in regards to Rob's claims about his like zoophilia comments, as far as I know. The only thing that's up in the air is the Prince of Egypt shit, which is like, at this point, is like not really... It was probably the case, like, to add padding, Rob threw that in, which I think is a bad idea that content creators need to stop doing, okay? If you have a good point to make, dedicate your video to that good point. Don't just throw random shit in there because you feel the need to just, like, fill it with as much shit as possible, okay? This is what, in my opinion, kind of, like, was a criticism of Nick Andros' Mutahar video. Despite the video overwhelmingly being good, that's something that was super risky, and I would not have done that if I were him, right?
Legitimately gets pissed at one point.
Seriously, the world is fucked up. The world is so fucked up. We eat and kill animals. We are discriminating against people, and the only reason that people hold a different standard to it is because they're attracted to something that other people aren't. And that is what is absolutely disgusting about this. Anyway, I'm passionate about it because it's huge discrimination going on right now.
Here's Adam's response to someone asking how his logic is any different from that of a pedophile. It's really fucking vile, and I don't want to risk my video getting age restricted by reading it. I know the term lolcow gets overused, but I do genuinely think of him as one. Adam has the mindset that he's one response away from owning the haters. People like me, Oscar, Nicholas Diorio, and others who've covered the story. But
on that point specifically, I could play devil's... I'm not gonna play devil's advocate, but like, I'm pretty sure there is just like universal evidence of like the harms to children, the negative effects on children from sexual abuse. In the aforementioned case that Adams just described of like laying there and letting a dog do it to you, I don't know if you could find studies that would substantiate like long-term harm for the dog. So that's the point he could come in and make. If I was advocating against the commenter. Now, just to be clear, Adam, YMS's point about the dog is like stupid because that's not what most instances of bestiality are probably going to entail, and the permittance of that in general will just cause more harm than any added benefit to society. So bestiality, absolutely, not only is it disgusting, but it should also be illegal. It shouldn't be illegal because I find it disgusting. It should be illegal because I can actually reason into the benefits that making it illegal would have. I just happen to also find it gross.
But the more he responds, the worse the situation gets for him. He won't ever back down. He'll keep justifying his past statements of a slightly different coat of paint each time. Most of his YouTuber buddies aren't going to back him up on this, which I bet is extremely blackpilling for him right now. In fact, the only YouTubers I've seen stick up for him are Destiny and Mr. Miss Manchi He. Boblax doesn't even agree with Adam, by the way.
Wait, what? In
fact, the only YouTubers I've seen stick up for him are Destiny and Mr. Miss Manchi He.
I'm giving myself an award.
Boblax doesn't even agree with Adam, by the way.
People are desperate for a new YouTube villain of the month. They're digging up a decade-old hot take to relitigate LOL. I don't agree with your take, but their sponsor has gone beyond critiquing and is just... Okay, so no elaborate... Boblax has this need. I must participate. So he'll just, like, add nothing to the conversation. It's been like this just like long-term theme, like just like needing to say something on every drama and adding absolutely nothing to the discussion because he's like incapable of forming original thought or elaborating on what he actually thinks. He's like criminally stupid, like criminally like fucking moronic.
Way. He's only in support because he is a massive hate boner against Nick, which is hopefully the only boner he has right now. Much of this drama has been swept up by this Olivia person, Adam's top Danny, who runs the highlights channel and moderates.
Listen, just to be fair to Bobby, I do think like it's a little bit mutual. Just to be clear, I think it's a little bit mutual between the two of them.
Subreddit.
Hey everyone, Olivia here.
Like you're not gonna believe me when I say this. I have no hate in my heart towards Boblax. I find his like the way he operates funny. I find I think he doesn't offer any value and shouldn't like be on the internet, both for his sake and everyone else's. But I don't hate him. I don't wish the worst on him. I am disgusted by him and what he posts, but like that's like the farthest I tend to go with it, right? I don't hate the guy. I do think there are some people that like are genuinely devote like serious hatred to this guy, and it's like, dude, you've like totally lost the plot at this point. If this person evokes any reaction from you besides haha.
Here. Thanks for watching as always.
This is who I'm in drama with, by the way. They're the person who put together that GoFundMe to buy Adam his Scar sex doll. They spent the last several weeks removing Reddit posts discussing the drama, while also posting cringe shit like this. This person is trying to push Adam into discussing politics, as if that went well the last time he went on EFAP. According to them, I'm just a right-wing homophobe attacking Adam over harmless thought crimes, describing my video as a nothing burger. Yet if it was a nothing burger, these two golems wouldn't be responding like this. And Adam can't keep—
Yeah, but by the way, Rob, just to be clear, I agree with Rob's like his like end conclusion, but his like premise, like he is doing the, it's like Rob, see, as I said before, I think that zoophilia is bad and should be illegal, and I also think it's disgusting, right? The disgust part doesn't really play a role in the at least as far as I'm consciously aware of in the arguments for why it should be illegal to me, right? For Rob, it probably is. It is disgusting, therefore it should be illegal, which I agree is like Rob hasn't really engaged, has he? Which is probably why he doesn't want to debate. It's just, oh, you believe this thing, but not like a refutation of it, which, by the way, there's a great refutation of. I've actually refuted what Adam said. I've given like arguments against what he said. Rob doesn't even do that, does he?
Responding, but don't expect me to do the same.
So how do you believe in his end conclusion? Because two people can arrive at the same conclusion despite having different supporting premises, okay? I think that thing is green because God really liked the color the day he was making it, versus I think that thing is green because it contains chloroplast or chlorophyll or whatever. No, chloroplast. So even though we both now agree that it's green, assuming we're both like colorblind and can't see color, just because we both reach the same conclusion, that doesn't mean we agree on the reasoning behind it.
Surprisingly, I have other things to do than argue with this mentally unstable loser. So in conclusion, this guy is gay.
This is like such a... I have better things to do. You made a video. You edited the video. You covered this. And it's like... You made the video, you edited the video, you covered this, you're covering it again, you're probably tweeting about it and discussing it in people's DMs. The I have better things to do point is so dumb, and it's actually like, isn't it like a completely like different excuse than the one he initially used? I could be wrong about this, but wasn't Rob saying at first it just wasn't going to be good content, which is like laughably ridiculous when like you're getting a ton of views just by virtue of you covering him? Say it's not going to be good content? Now it's not worth. These are like the two statements made by people who run, made by cowards. Okay.
He jerks off to lion dick, he thinks it's okay for people to fornicate with animals, and he's willing to slander anyone who talks about it. He deserves all the hate he's getting right now. And you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Adam, I'm glad I ruined your vacation. I'm glad I lived in your head rent-free for weeks. I mentally raped you, buddy.
Rob's media just raped me, and there's nothing I can do about it.
After some of the shit you and your fans have said about me, I'm glad to hear that you're
Chud Logic's still in with them, dude. Chud Logic's still in bed with these guys, and I don't get it. I don't get it, man. This Chud guy was covering Rose Malay. Okay, wasn't he? I think he was, right? I didn't watch the full stream. in my opinion, my interview with Rose Malay is like actual like great proof that Rose Malay is I'm not even saying this for the sake of self promo. I think that Rose Malay outright looks like manipulative as fuck in my interview. I've like actually like, pushed her against the wall or whatever. And then Chud's watching it, or Chud gets a donor recommending it, and he's like, I'm not gonna watch that. Or something. This guy's so scared. This guy's so fucking destroyed by the Cabal. I say, man, you want to play Warzone? He's like, I'm just not into it anymore. Ever since the Nicholas Diorio fallout, okay, it's very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. You should leak the Cabal whispers about Chud. Well, isn't it glaringly obvious that like it's what peace built on quicksand? That's what happened when the initial beef was resolved. Okay, these fucking in private, nobody in like the private consensus literally is they all agree with Tommy on his like criticism of Chud. I'm pretty sure that's like a fucking verbatim quote. But like when I'm in the room, they'll be like, "Oh, well, Tommy was right about all this, but except the stuff with you, because they know I'm in the room and they know that I'm like, you know, Tommy's just being completely fucked to me." So they'll be like, "Yeah, Tommy was right with that shit. We just like can't say." It's like, "Oh, except the stuff about you." It's like, okay. Does Augie agree with the Tommy stuff? I don't really know what Augie agrees with or doesn't agree with. I don't really talk to him that much. You know, to one extent, I thought he agreed with all of our arguments. I think he kind of does if I was to take a guess on it. But then I also think he's in that state of just wanting to maintain bridges. And I was doing the same thing, so I'm in no position to criticize him. You know, wanting to maintain bridges with certain people and not saying anything. Tommy, no, I'm pretty sure Tommy's outright said that, just to be clear. I'm pretty sure he's outright, like, referred to specific conversations where Nick was still venting about Chud in private. I'm pretty sure he's just like, you could just get that from watching a Tommy stream. So, because he, like, leaked, like, it's true. It's just true, right? It's just true. It literally is just true. He's only implied it. Fuck me, dude. This is news, 100%? Okay. Wait, what? Wait, do you guys remember I was giving the hypothetical about running around? Okay, dude. Kathy's so deranged. Remember I was like, yeah, well, okay. If you let your kid run around with a bottle of pills, okay, it's not like, or like you're still being negligent even if they don't eat the pills, right? And even though you didn't give it to them, you sat by and watched while it happened. And I've now just been linked this clip from Kosher Kathy. Let's take a look at this, everybody.
Because
I don't know what we're about to watch, to be clear.
Because if I sleep in the bed, it seems like a good idea. The problem is I come to bed later, so when Bruce is in there, it doesn't matter how quiet I am. I swear to God,
No,
when I come in, he wakes up and he's like up.
And he
up.
thinks it's like playtime.
He's ready to play with me.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's super cute.
But he'll like stand up and start playing and stuff.
He
in
looks
bed.
at me and then he's got this big ass smile and he's like, "Oh, Daddy's here. Let's play." And
then he sees Shredder because usually the dogs come with Ethan. Then he sees the dogs. He starts.
Ethan
wanting
just
to
looks so much happier here, man.
To their side, and
Ethan looked happier when he was fat.
It becomes a whole mess.
it's cute and it's fun for like 20 minutes, but he won't go to sleep for like an hour or two.
Mhm.
And then I give him like a pill bottle and that's his favorite toy. He'll take the pill bottle and he starts shaking it. He thinks it's so awesome. Oh, yeah. No.
So,
all right, this to be clear, I know I was talking about the bottle of pills earlier. I don't think this is like malicious. It's some old story. Personally, I wouldn't do it. Secondly, I wouldn't tell the internet I was doing that. It's just funny. There's nothing to this, okay? I need to be very clear about that. I'm not making a serious claim. I didn't even know it was in the clip when I got sent it. I just knew it was going to be something about a pill bottle. Okay, Aiden Overground, do not call CPS over this. That is fucking retarded. If you call CPS over this clip, I'm going to SWAT you. I'm going to dox you. I'm going to SWAT you. Do not call CPS over this. Thank you. I will I will devote, if I heard you called CPS over this, I will literally drop fucking $5,000 to figure out who you are. Okay, I'll devote another $5,000 to have somebody regularly call a SWAT team on you. Okay. Skulls CPS? CPS skulls? 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 Aiden the optics? No, stop fucking wasting CPS's time. They do important work. Well, actually, I don't want to say stop wasting, because, like, if you, and this is talking about, like, not people you know over the internet and you're hearing secondhand stories. If you, like, suspect child abuse in real life, don't be afraid to call and, like, actually have them go and investigate. But $2 from Draftel, SWAT team fun. Thank you so much, buddy. See, this is the thing about Dickers. Dickers, oh, let's just, like, randomly walk up to Aiden and hit him. Let's just, like, randomly do that, right? Let's just, like, randomly keep walking up to this guy and fucking hitting him for no reason, right? Right? Stupid fucking bitch. I don't even remember what I was saying. Fuck that person. Thank you, Draftel, though. Ladies and gentlemen, that puts like $20 away from Streamly Goal. If we hit that shit, you people, obviously, it would be fucking awesome. Stop. I just got all my fucking levels, dude. I just got 73 levels. Okay, if I actually die right now, you're banned. I made this very clear. You're just gonna be banned. You know what? No, fuck it, dude. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on fucking business. Fuck that shit, dude. What? There we go.
For an excruciating pain while you typed out your essays. You deserve it.
It was a joke. Well, I gave very clear instructions or cause and effect. Hit me, you get banned. Hit me while I'm on stream, you get banned. And let's just say the days of reluctantly sitting there and saying I'm going to do something and not doing it are over. Okay? They're over. Now, I didn't say I wouldn't unban you. I didn't say I wouldn't unban you. So here's what we're gonna do. When I end stream, you will then be unbanned, okay? That's your warning, okay? When you come back, if you ever hit me again while I am on stream and then just, like, jeopardize all my levels, you will just be permanently banned, okay?
I've thought long and hard about.
We can roll. Okay, okay. Actually, you're right. You're right. That's a good. But how could you know if I was gonna die or not? Wait, actually, you could see my hearts on stream. No, fair argument. You're unbound. Fair argument. Fair argument. Okay. But I will stand on what I did actually say. If you hit me on stream, or if you kill me on stream, I will ban you.
About this, and with cyberbullying, you kind of can't really stop it if you don't know who it's coming from. But my best advice, just ignore them.
Give me some fucking string. I need string. Can you get me some? What is this guy? Can I have string? Why is he? Is he having a seizure? Should we call somebody? Do you have any string? Okay, this is ridiculous, man. Can I have string? Okay. Is he just gonna stand in front of me and nod? It's like a fucking NPC. Oh, thanks. Dude, NPC alert? Okay, let's see what else we got on the docket to check out right now. Yeah, I mean, I'll look into talking to YMS on stream. I think that could be a very interesting conversation. And I think that I, unlike Rob, would actually be able to give Dickers, please change your fucking Minecraft skin. I think I, unlike Rob, will actually be able to provide sufficient arguments for why Adam is like completely wrong, and there is reasonable suspicion that he wants to fuck animals. Okay. Well, we've got a video about some evil fucking woman. We've got a video about... Oh, there's the new Steven Crowder video. Because he brought back Change My Mind. And there was something else I had to watch. But before we do that, I gotta pee real quick. So I'll be back here soon. Folks, we are so fucking close to Streamly goal. Help us hit it. Chip in. Super Chats button down below. Streaml's link in the description. And like up, people. We're on like what? We're on like 50 likes, 100 watching. Only half of you liked. Only half of you are my best friends. So I'll be right back here in like 2 seconds. Folks, we're back. If you have a topic that you believe I should cover or want me to see, now, when we're short on topics, would be a better time than ever for me to view whatever it is you want me to watch and potentially take a look at it. So link it in my inbox in the server, and I would be happy to consider it. And sometimes, if it's like Kino, outright play it. It doesn't hurt to suggest stuff, okay? Even if you don't think I'd like it. Never hurts. Never hurts, people. Never hurts. Choose a different... If you actually listen to the songs, like, I don't know what to tell you. You're doomed. Okay, Squimbly Bimbly decided to... Okay, dude. This is, like, gonna be TMI, but I don't care, because, like, I don't know, someone might be watching me in Indonesia right now that has some old remedy. There's a fucking zit on my face that is invisible. You can't see it. But you could fucking feel it, because I feel that shit, okay? It's like right under my fucking nostril, okay? It hurts like fuck. It hurts like fuck. What do I do? What do I do? What the fuck do I do? There's gotta be something, man. There's gotta be something. It's unbearable. It's not a... No, it's not, because you can't see it. You can't fucking see it. Well, I do wash my face. Listen, the biggest, like, tell if somebody's a fucking idiot is if they think acne is related to how much you wash... Well, okay, there's a slight relation, and you make it worse if you never wash your face, but that's not the initial cause of it to begin with. Thug it out. Great argument. Great point. Also, by the way, I found out that in the state of California, so I don't know how I have this right now. In the state of California, flavored vapes. You want to talk about don't tread on me, my freedom? Okay, this is a huge freedom violation. Banning things that are just like generally pleasurable because it might incentivize kids to do it. Flavored vapes are outright banned in the state of California. Now, many places still sell it because it's only, I think, a civil violation, and some places literally make way more selling it than the fine. So they just pay the fine and keep selling it. But, dude, I have a flavored one. I'm running out of it, okay? I've actually technically, supposedly been out of it for a week, but it tastes fine. I got this other one at the store that it said like salt on it and then just tobacco. There was no flavoring to it. So I fucking hit this shit, and it's the most disgusting like piece of fucking garbage. It's like so gross. It's so bad, dude. Yeah, yes, unironically. I want my fucking Geek Bar, Guzzleberry, fucking Apple Fruity Tooty Cumber fucking blast vape, dude. Yes. Aiden is gonna be well. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I ordered one from a very suspicious website, and I'm gonna test it out. And if I die, you know what happened. You're so dumb. Let's go CCP. True, China's more free than the US. Our flavored vapes are legal in China, right? Or flavored... Who is calling? It scared the fuck out of me. Oh, Mr. I Want Attention. Hey Aiden.
Hi.
What do you want? I'm live. Are you live?
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
But it looks like we're both out of content. So do you want to like depressively like cry about that together?
Do I want to? What do you think, chat? Should we do it, chat? What do you think, chat? Should we kick this guy? Kick or keep? Kick or keep?
Terrible idea to put it up to chat, man. Terrible idea.
I'm Kool-Aid now. Chat governs my life.
Kool-Aid, did they vote on that?
Yeah. Would you? Okay.
I'm sad Parry, I guess.
Wait,
yeah.
wait. Let's play
yeah.
Let's play Would You Rather. Okay. Let's play Would You Rather. Would you?
Okay.
Who's like comparable to Rose Malay, like looks wise, in like terms of how bad they look?
Same gender.
Oh, let's say Rose Malay could reproduce. Okay, let's say that. Let's just pretend that's possible for a minute. The human race goes extinct tomorrow, and everybody is alive except Rose Malay. Would you just accept the extinction of the human race, or would you breed to ensure the survival of the human race?
Yeah, so these hypotheticals never make sense because you need more genetic diversity than two people.
Not
If you
necessarily.
want to actually keep going. Yes, you do. If you
There's
have
go-
Rose Malay,
There's going to be higher.
and
Wait,
let's say-
just to be clear. There's going to be higher rates of of like birth defects, but it's not inherent, right? Like there could be there could be even if like and I know this is like disgusting, right? But like even if the siblings then go and reproduce, it's not definitive that the offspring are going to be like so inbred that they're gonna be unable to.
I guess it's the case. It's
survive.
parents to child incest. That's like the worst, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I think so. No,
I guess
no,
I-
actually, siblings too. I think identical twins would be the worst.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess probably. Yeah. I guess the answer is I don't have any particular. I mean, I would probably listen. It depends how if we aren't together, can I like survive and thrive, or do I also like need to rely on them?
Not for survival, just like if you want to save humanity.
Okay, so I would probably. Do you know what? Do you know about Warhammer 40K?
Nope. Everyone who talks about it is a nerd.
They have these breeding planets. It's like a star science fiction universe. They have these breeding planets where the women are biologically engineered to basically be these like massive wombs which can put out hundreds of children a day. And it's like basically a living factory that produces humans.
Is this like an analogy for or a message about our treatment of animals?
It's not an analogy. That is directly one-to-one what I would do to Rose Malay in order to propagate the human race.
Okay, that's disgusting. But I don't even know why I presented this. We're so out of content. I mean, I guess you just gotta make content. That's the thing. I think your content model is to like do friendly collaborations and get friendly raids and shoutouts. I don't think that's what you want. I think you want to just get attention by inserting yourself into stories.
Basically, like a lot of the time, yeah. If I'm interested in the story, I just want to be like a nuisance until it benefits me.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
so what's your point?
I guess I don't have one, man. I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
Do you see? Yeah. Oh, now you're sad Aiden. You were Kool-Aid, and now you're sad Aiden. So that's cool because I'm sad Parry. We can.
What are you even sad? What are you even sad about?
Psy, there's not much content, I guess, and Psy, is you update your server, by the way, to the latest?
Yeah, it's up. What are I don't even know what the copper golems do because the chests are disorganized as fuck.
They're chest sorting, they're auto sort stuff. It's awesome. Sai, did you see Chad was whining yesterday that there's no content even though he refuses to watch your interview with Rose and my
yes,
convo with Rose?
it is complete. The fuck is it? It is completely absurd. This guy's like fear of interacting with shitters, lest he like be viewed as one, is like completely absurd and at times an actual detriment to like the type of content he gets.
Yeah.
You should
He was saying, "Oh, I have no content," and he like people were telling him, "Talk to Aiden." He was just ignoring those messages basically.
Well,
The
well-
entire chat was saying.
Okay, I don't actually think it's because he's trying to appease Nicholas York, just to be fair. That was kind of a joke. I think Chud, for people he views as shitters, is like scared of interacting with them because he thinks somehow that's gonna make him become a shitter. And that's just like not true, and you're like totally limiting yourself content-wise.
Yeah, like he's just like he talked about Pirate Software again, and he like, do you know he covers my face when he was I was in the June the King video. He covered my face. It's kind of fucked up, no?
Yeah, he like actually gets mad when a commentary shitter like comes up in someone else's like you could see the anger on his face because he realized I'm associated.
But what are you gonna do? But you're just sitting there and taking it. It's kind of like fucked up.
I don't
no?
take it. I don't take it.
Yeah, because you refuse to. You just let him you told your audience, guys, be nice to Chud. Don't like tell him that he's lying about there being no content. Yeah, you said that to your audience.
True. This guy needs to just like get over this like weird fear that he has. He just needs to get over it, man. That's what it comes down to.
That's what I'm saying, man. But it's like you're telling your audience, no, don't tell him anything. Let him just speak.
I think some of the best Chud content has come from him just covering like random online spurgs. Okay. And I think that a lot.
You're the best Chud content. Do you remember, by the way, we were in Malta. And I was like, Chud didn't cover my Tina convo. And you're like, it's because it's bad, Barry. It's because it's bad. And then he doesn't cover your Rose Malay convo. And you're like, what the f going on?
Did I say I didn't watch your Tina interview, so how would I know it was bad?
Yeah, but you said it was you said it's probably bad. You probably asked her if she was molested, which I didn't. By the way.
Yeah, but that
So
that wouldn't be a criticism of him not watching by virtue of you being a shitter. It would be like their actual lack of content in the interview itself, which would be a fine reason to not watch. Now I don't know if I could be wrong about that. There might have been content there that I didn't know about, and if that's true, then the criticism would be that I just like wrote your video off too soon. Which if I did, I'm sorry. Maybe maybe it was Tina.
Well, the thing is, not only did you write my video off too soon, it's you then use that basically, use the fact you wrote the video off, to justify Chud not watching it, and then when he doesn't watch yours, you don't apply the same logic. Maybe your video wasn't good content, or your interview with Rose.
But like the thing is, it was.
Oh, I see how it is, Aiden. Rules for me, but not for D. Et tu, Brute?
You know what? You make a good point. I need to do some introspection. There's a very good point to be made here.
Aiden, this is how I know you're trying to cope out of it right now. This is how I know. It's because when you say stuff like that.
Stuff like what?
It's like when you're like, oh, you're right, but you're obviously like not actually. You don't actually agree that I'm right. You're saying that.
You're
'cause
so paranoid. You're like actually BPD, bro.
So I'm just supposed to sit down and take it when you're obviously.
No, you just
listen. I know. I know. I just called in.
You have a tendency.
If you don't have anything else to say.
No, I'm saying you have a tendency of assuming intentions that just are non-existent.
Okay. But it's very clear that's what's happening. But if you want to like, I just thought I'd call in because it looked like you were just playing Minecraft, so I thought we'd like help each other out basically.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But I guess you, yeah.
I wasn't okay. I was not doing what you think I was doing, just to be clear. But...
Okay.
All right, take care.
Okay. So you are doing it. Okay.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay.
One golem thinks one chest is for coal and the other one is for redstone. Well, I love whatever incompetent fucking idiot set that up. So cool. So fucking cool. Alright, let's take a look at the inbox. Is anybody still here, by the way? Have we just, like, completely lost all views? Yeah, we lost all views. Who cares, right? Yo, thank you so much, Spencer, for the 5. Australia banned vapes almost entirely, so I made my own PWM-controlled vape. Why would it is, like, so stupid to ban vapes, but not cigarettes? Like... We're not ending stream yet. At least I don't think we are. There's something else to check out. Maybe there's some Kino here. So let's take a look. Oh, it's Sonic stuff. Okay, it's 50. Let's watch the... Let's take a look at the Crowder video, I guess. We could do that, right? We could do that. The left is violent. Change my mind. We'll check it out until it gets boring. How about that? The left is violent.
The reason we're here, and I don't think you would argue that this is unnecessary. The assassination in cold blood is an act of terrorism of Charlie Kirk. Is that political violence?
Yes. Oh, come on. Why can't you people like just concede? Okay, just concede to that point and then argue like he's then going to try to mischaracterize that as some like broader reflection on the overall left, and like that's going to be the thing that you're going to go and contest. Okay? Like why can't you just concede on that?
You seem so confident on the Hortmans, but not Charlie Kirk.
I was just thinking about your question.
If that
Yes,
doesn't...
the death of Charlie Kirk was very obviously political violence, and the people disputing that are just like, you're not helping. You're really, I know what you're trying to do. I know you think that's gonna like reflect better on us. It's not, okay? We can obviously concede that like this was 99%, unless it turns out somehow that like the shooter's just like a paranoid schizophrenic that didn't even know what Charlie Kirk's politics were. It's like, obviously we can make a concession here that it was an act of political violence, right? No shit. And it did come from the left, just like political violence comes from the right.
constitute political violence that could be answered in the affirmative immediately, of course, what would?
Hey YouTube, what you're about to watch is a new segment we call Change My Mind.
You know, I was kind of upset. Not just, obviously, it's horrible that someone dies, but like, also, I always wanted to debate Charlie Kirk. Okay, I always wanted to do it, and I'm like, damn, now like we're gonna lose these like, you know, public debates. But if Crowder's coming around doing Change My Mind now, maybe there's some room for a potential debate.
Welcome back to Change My Mind. It's been a while. This is the place where we rationalize, we reason.
Hello?
Yo, wait, what? Hold on. I don't want to derail stream. Tell me if this is boring. What's your definition of political violence?
I think violence perpetrated with political motives.
Yeah, but okay. Can you? So,
if you want me to define violence, I can define violence.
No, I know, but what political outcome? Because that seems incredibly reductive. What political outcome did Thompson think that he was going to effectuate by killing Charlie Kirk? Did he think anyone was going to be voted? Did he think anyone was going to be?
So we don't know nearly, because he didn't leave a manifesto or anything. We can't ascertain exactly what he thought was going to happen, and we can't. But it seems like, right? It seems like it actually could just like be several things, right? If it was motivated by fucking not liking hatred against transgender people, he'd believe that like removal of what he views as an what was an anti-transgender voice would somehow reduce that hate, right? It could be. There's infinite possibilities as to what ends he believed he was going to achieve when doing that, but there's also the possibility that he just was angry at his political sentiment in general and didn't have an immediate aftermath in mind, although I think that's unlikely.
Well, I did think, okay, I mean, I asked that, it's a little bit, feels a little bit lead, but the reason why I want to know is I don't know if it does fit squarely into like an ordinary understanding of political violence, and so I don't blame the woman for like taking a second to like think about it, right? So for example, it's not like somebody who wants to run a certain like policy platform, right? So Donald Trump build a wall, somebody tries to shoot him. That's political violence, 100%. Presidential candidate, yeah, of course.
Do you think political violence can happen to people that aren't elected politicians or even candidates for elected office?
That's where it gets difficult, right? I think there it can, right? But if you've got somebody who like Thompson, for example, it seems as though he only cared about trans stuff, right? He thought that Charlie Kirk was like really hateful towards trans people. His girlfriend was trans, right? And so he does violence over one particular issue. Now, it does fall as cross-partisan lines, but would he have been just as open to killing a Democrat over the same issue? Let's say J.K. Rowling, for example. If she was an American citizen or an American feminist like J.K. Rowling, would he have killed them as well?
As I said before, we don't know enough about the shooter to ascertain what specifically motivated him, but if it was motivated by anti-trans rhetoric, quite frankly, I'm not sure, right? He could have biases against harming her, and this sounds stupid, but this is actually how the human mind functions, against causing violent harm to her because she's a woman, right? Or, like, there are several reasons.
Let's imagine a bloke then.
Mm-hmm.
A male feminist on the left, turf type.
Mm-hmm.
Would he be just as likely to have killed them? A Democrat?
Are they just as notable as Charlie Kirk?
Let's say all the same stuff, yeah. Let's say Ezra Klein comes out tomorrow and says that he's against trans healthcare.
If we are assuming that the shooter was motivated by Charlie Kirk's anti-trans rhetoric, and we have somebody appear who is also just as influential with anti-trans rhetoric, then yeah, that is now going to the local college to speak, then yeah, he would probably target that guy instead.
Yeah. So that, for me, is where it gets a little bit difficult, right? Because it's a political issue, sure, but does he care about the political issue or the cultural issue? If he'd be just as likely to kill somebody from either side of the aisle, is this motivated by partisan politics? Or is this motivated over, like, a cultural issue?
I don't think
that he feels like somebody's spreading hate over.
I don't think, like, especially people who reject conservatism and liberalism, which I'd imagine if we went through, the shooter's, like, history, that would be the case. I think just because you reject, like...
That's not true.
What do you mean that's not true?
What there just doesn't seem to be like anything from him politically.
That's why I said I'd bet, right? I feel like I have I'd bet that if when it actually does come out, he's going to be somebody that's like pretty left leaning and probably rejects the Democrats.
Well, people have gone through his backlog, right? Did you read the Ken Klippenstein article?
I've not. No, I know that his Discord. I know there's at this point a million claims are being made about what he did or didn't believe. I think the specific references to Bella Ciao and stuff. And people could say, oh, it's like a Hell Divers reference or whatever, but it's like, why that Hell Divers reference? I think he's obviously motivated by some leftist beliefs.
Right, but what I was saying in so in reference to the Ken Klippenstein article, this is the first time, I believe, or it was at the time of publishing, that somebody went out and open sourced all of the messages, all the relevant messages in that Discord chat. And the only times that he ever talks about Trump or Biden is to comment on the election and to comment on the impeachment hearing. And now this is over years and years and years.
That's
he
just
seems
in that
like a relatively apolitical guy.
Well, apparently people who knew him said differently. Apparently he began to comment on politics quite recently. Apparently there was actually a recent turn to becoming political. A few months prior.
That's what his parents said. But his parents only mentioned that in relation to feeling as though Charlie Kirk was hateful. That was the only reference to him becoming more political.
Okay, so do you think there can be inferences drawn from what type of person this is probably going to be like? You know, he's living with. I don't know if has the dating been confirmed. I don't know if that's confirmed yet. Somebody who's allegedly
all but confirmed, yeah.
Yeah, allegedly actively transitioning. He's probably somebody that's going to be pretty socially progressive, right? And the comments about Charlie Kirk being hateful. I would bet that there's going to be the least amount of steps possible in asserting that sentiment towards his dispute with Charlie Kirk's political beliefs.
I understand that, right? And I agree with that just off the basis that he killed Charlie Kirk, right? I can 100% get making the initial inference that this was done over political motives. But when you look at everything else and all of the digging through everything in his online history, he doesn't seem especially politically interested, right? His only motive that you can see is him saying that Charlie Kirk spread anti-trans rhetoric and was hateful towards trans people. So I'd ask in the same way, because this might be where we differ, right? If somebody went out, some black guy went out and killed the leader of the Ku Klux Klan, would that be political violence?
If somebody went out and killed the leader of the Ku Klux,
Like David Duke.
Over like the political views that he's expressed, yeah, probably.
Is it political, or is it over the cultural impact of his racial views? You see what I mean?
Well, okay. So what do you think politics is?
Politics is going to be the enactment of views, policies, topical discussions
About how we
right?
ought to run a society, right?
Yep.
Sure. So if somebody like David Duke expressing like pro-segregationist, advocating for like pro-segregationist sentiment, right? Despite that it should be glaringly obvious that that's a bad thing, at the end of the day, ultimately, yes, it still is a political position, just an extreme one. And if he was to be killed over
No, I
that,
know.
it would be political violence.
No, I agree with that. Right?
Yeah, so
if
what's
David Duke is trying to advocate for segregation and somebody kills him because of that segregationist advocacy, fine. Yeah,
But
100%.
this is also why I say
But if
not all
somebody
political
killed-
violence is
and it's
bad.
just because he's spreading hate against black people. Race relations are a political issue, but race relations are also their own issue unto themselves. Do you see what I'm coming at with this?
But it's an issue, like, can you, okay, sure, but it's an issue, like, why would he kill David Duke rather than somebody's racist uncle, right?
Because David Duke is a prominent voice spreading black hate.
A political voice.
It's got a different magnitude.
Just to be clear.
Completely different magnitude.
Just to be clear, why do you think we know who David Duke is?
Incredibly culturally influential. The Ku Klux Klan used to have enormous historical, I guess, influence?
Well, no, not just that. He got a ton of publicity because he tried to, and he actually was a member of the Louisiana House of Representatives, and I thought he just tried
That was
to run.
40 years ago, though.
Well, but that's when
clear.
but at that he became a household name at that point. He was differentiated from one of the many just like average like fucking racists that were living like in the United States. He actually like entered office. He was making off of his racist views like opinions about how society ought to be governed, political opinions.
If somebody knows of David Duke today, because I would say it sans his Senate race or his Senate position. If somebody thinks of David Duke today, are they going to be thinking about him running for senator in the 1980s, or are they going to be thinking about him as the leader of the Ku Klux Klan and the cultural position that he holds?
Just to be honest, I don't think a lot of young people are going to be thinking about David Duke at all today. But if they are, they're just going to know him as like a prominent voice of on like racial issues, like this like prominent like voice of like racism.
Well, just a racist, right?
Yeah. But a lot of his racism is in the form of advocating for white nationalism, which is a political position.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any political cachet. He doesn't have like sit down meetings with like Donald Trump.
Yeah, but you don't.
He doesn't have connections into the Republican Party.
Okay. So just to ask you a question. Do you think that in order for something to be considered an act of political violence, it needs to occur against somebody who has like an active and direct influence on given politics or on politics?
I don't think the political violence is defined by the person who's killed, and this is I think the key difference.
It's the motive of the perpetrator.
Exactly.
Yeah. I agree. But then it's
Yeah.
like okay, it's like okay if you go and kill a bunch of neighbors who are registered Democrats as they're registered Democrats, I'd agree it's an act of political violence. If you go and kill...
So, for example, if I were to walk down the street with a placard trying to advocate for, like, I don't know, like housing regulation changes, and somebody really, really loves the way housing regulation works right now, and they kill me, that would be political violence.
Yes.
Hands down, 100%. If I'm going out into the street with a Bible and quoting Leviticus, saying that gay people should be stoned to death, is that political violence?
Yeah, because ultimately, yeah, if you're saying that gay people should be, you are taking a political position, even though that's like.
I'm saying nothing about the government.
Wait. If you're making like a prescriptive claim about the way society ought to be, you are saying something political, right?
I'm not saying anything about the government. I'm not saying anything about voting. I'm talking about what Christians should do in their own lives.
Just because you don't believe in the current democratic process, it doesn't mean you're like making a statement about the way society ought to be run.
No. I'm saying what should happen. I'm saying that Christians should go out and stone black people. So stone gay people. Freudian slip. Real views coming through.
Okay.
Right. I would say that while still horrific, while still violence and while still needing condemnation, isn't political violence in the way that we traditionally think about it.
It's
Or
not
isn't
traditional
really
political violence, but it is political violence, just to be clear.
It's not over any matter of policy. It's not over any matter of traditional politics. It's a cultural issue, right? It's over cultural difficulties, over
Okay.
cultural animosity.
So okay. So like for example,
If somebody's shouting the N-word, for example, in a bar, and somebody kills them,
that wouldn't
is that political violence?
No, that wouldn't be because it's not a political position.
What? Neither is saying that. What? Neither is saying that gay people deserve to be stoned. Well, let's take it away from being stoned, okay? Let's say I've got my Bible, I'm in the street, and I'm saying that gay people will burn in hellfire.
Oh, okay.
Gay people living a sinful life, they're going to burn in hellfire for all of eternity.
Okay,
And
so
somebody kills me.
So if it's going to be about the motive of the perpetrator, if they killed you because they believe there's like a rising Christian nationalist sentiment in our society, then yes, it would be political violence if that was their motive. If they just killed you merely because they didn't like that you were saying gay people were going to go to hell, then I don't think that would be political violence.
Or it'd be inciting hate, right?
Sure.
Oh yeah, that's whatever. But the problem is now you're stuck in this contradictory position, or I would say like an untenable position, where you think that if I say that, okay, gay people are going to burn in hell forever, gay people are living sinful lives, that's not political violence. That's just hate. But if I then say that I'm quoting Leviticus, where it says that gay people should be stoned to death, that suddenly does become political violence.
Because
So
the should be part is political. The should be part is political.
Anytime you make a prescriptive statement, that's a political statement.
If it's about general societal standards, of course it is. If you're saying gay people as a blanket group of people should be stoned to death, right? And I assume you're not saying you're going to go and do it individually. You're talking by the populace. The populace should be doing this. You're absolutely making a political prescription.
Okay, if I say that people should go to church on Sunday, is that a political prescription?
Probably not. No.
Right. So if I'm talking what people of faith should do in their own kind of spiritual exercise, right?
Well, because
you understand that that's not political.
Because if one of these things is already permitted, then it would just merely be a recommendation. If the other isn't, right, and you're saying they should be stoned to death, right? You're advocating against.
There's no advocacy that like any of this should be made legal. I'm literally just reading Leviticus and saying this is what they deserve for their sin.
Oh, if you're saying it's what they deserve, I wouldn't say I would not. If you're doing a call to action, or saying that people should actually go and do this, then I would think, yeah, that is political. If you're just saying they deserve, they deserve this, like a just God, or if you're just saying they deserve that and not actually advocating people to go and do it, I don't know if that'd be political.
Okay, so if I say gay people deserve to be stoned, that's not political. But then if I read the verse that just says you should go out and stone them,
if you say
then that does become political.
If you're just reading the verse, no. If you're advocating for the verse, if you're saying
I'm clearly endorsing the verse if I'm reading it. I'm reading it over and over again.
If you're saying,
the only thing I'm
if you're saying they ought to be stoned, as in like we should go and do this, a prescriptive, a prescriptive claim, then yes, that is like a political position. I think even under your own definition of what's political, right?
I would say ordinarily what we're talking about is like advocacy of policy, right? What the government should do, who should be in office, who shouldn't be in office, what line the government should take, or at least advocating for an Overton window.
What if you're an anarchist? What if you're an anarchist?
What do you mean?
So, like, do you think someone can be political without making without advocating for what the government should and shouldn't be doing right now?
I think that'd be a larger definition, like capital P politics. Sure.
So how do you differentiate the two?
One of them is what the government should be doing right now in terms of policy. One is like an imagining of society, right? In the same way that, okay, when people say all art is political, do they mean that all are advocates for government policy? Or are they talking about cultural issues and how society should be shaped?
They're saying all art can have or all art is motivated by political interpretations, I guess. I don't know too much about art, but the messaging is I don't know too much about art, to be honest.
Well, usually it has an influence on the culture, which then has like political ramifications, right? So it's advocating for like politics change in like I guess usually like a Marxist cultural dialectic or material dialectic. But that's in a larger sense. It's not partisan politics. It's not the action of government. You know what I mean? And so as soon as we use that broader definition, it's hard to find.
Because
it's hard to find much violence that wouldn't then be political.
If you go and attack the artist by virtue of that, if you go and attack the artist by virtue of like what you believe is the political messaging of their work, then it would be a political violence. Just to be clear.
What you believe is the political, but that sneaks in that this person has accepted the framing that this is a political message.
Well, if it's about the perpetrator's intent, yeah.
But if somebody makes a piece of art and the implication of the art is being gay is okay, and then I kill that artist, I'm a homophobe. I hate his cultural views, and I hate the normalcy of gay lifestyles.
Well, then okay. So you hate the normalcy of gay lifestyles. You believe society ought to be different, right, than it presently is, and that's why you're explicitly against the message that it's okay, right? Then it would be political, right? Because your anger is motivated by
but political in a wider sense, right?
Yeah, so political violence.
Sure, if you want to say in a wider sense, yeah. I think that usually when we're talking about political violence, it's going to be more so about like the day-to-day process of government, or people advocating different things in government. If somebody goes and kills an MP, that's political violence. If somebody goes and kills somebody who made a movie saying that being gay is okay, is that political violence the same way? I don't think it is.
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure when the Army of God was like bombing lesbian bars, I'm pretty sure that was like explicitly like classified under like political violence. I'm pretty sure what's his fucking...
Yeah, but I'm not going to appeal to like a secondary definition, right? We're talking about how we consider it.
Yeah, I'd consider Army of God bombing lesbian bars to be political violence.
Army of God, I'm not familiar with the organization.
It's like a disorganized. It's an old fucking terrorist organization. They're responsible for the Centennial Park Olympic bombings, and Eric Rudolph bombed a bunch of gay bars. Yeah, I think it's listed under like political terrorism.
Well, this is an explicitly political. This is like a Christian nationalist terrorist group, right?
Yeah.
These people are explicitly motivated by...
Sorry, we should just be talking about the individual Eric Rudolph, because Eric Rudolph, because there's argument as to whether he was with Army of God, but there's argument as to whether or not they're like an organized group. It's like kind of like Antifa. No, okay. So Eric Rudolph bombed a bunch of lesbian bars and the Centennial Park Olympics because I forget what the exact stated motive was. He was against it was for various like political reasons. He was against, like, the lesbian bar thing was he was against the practice of that lifestyle. So like a claim about like the way things ought to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, here's the thing. This group is also responsible for sending death threats via letters to like Supreme Court justices. I mean, this is an explicitly political group.
Well, it's okay. That's why I said
considered terrorism.
That's why
right?
yeah. So like, would you consider like so you would consider Ted Kaczynski political, right? The Unabomber.
He was a political writer, yeah.
But he like killed people. I think his victims, like, he mailed bombs to like professors who he believed their area of study advanced the technological development of society. He mailed his bombs.
Heads of companies.
Yeah, heads of companies, not like elected politicians. But you would agree that what he did was political violence, right?
Well, yeah, if you look at his motivation, absolutely.
Yeah, so why not? If somebody's motivated, if somebody kills somebody because they believe their messaging is promoting a lifestyle that should not exist in our present society, like homosexuality, why would that not be political?
Well, Ted Kaczynski explicitly wrote about the existing government and how he would reject the existing government.
Well, we don't even...
right?
Okay, yeah, no, okay. Yes.
We've got the Unabomber
Wait,
manifesto.
Just because you realize he has a broader political position, and just because he rejects the government, that doesn't mean that was motivated in specifically going after that professor, right? Or specifically going after that CEO.
He has a manifesto where he details exactly why he does what he does.
But in the
And then there is
hypothetical,
explicit text
but in the
referring
hypothetical
to
I gave
party
you,
politics.
but in the hypothetical I gave you, we also know why the perpetrator is doing what he's doing. That's why I asked you, right? If he is going after people because he believes that society is promoting sexual degeneracy through the permittance of the open practice of homosexuality, and he then goes and attacks people associated non-politicians.
The permittance.
Yeah,
is that illegal? Is that a legal thing?
So, both social and legal.
Okay, then that'd be political easily. Yeah, you want that policy to change.
Well, what if you don't? What if you're just angry that this is being socially permitted and you don't even think what you're doing is going to change a policy? You want to express your anger with violence over this position.
Wait, say that again.
All right. Let's say like your reason. What if the reason you go out and attack them is not because you believe you're actually going to change any policy? You're doing it because you're angry over the reasons you've described. And this is like the manner in which you're going to express your frustration. And
yeah, you don't have to like have a belief that you're going to effectuate some end.
Okay, I'm glad we can
just
agree.
the motivation sufficient.
So what is the relevance, I guess, then to the Charlie Kirk shooter if we concede that he's leftist and wouldn't like? I guess you're not conceding to that, right? You don't think he's leftist,
bro?
Fucking idiot.
Okay, hold on. Okay, cool. One sec.
Ran from the
somebody
debate?
Just fucking like, somebody just cut out the fucking the fucking ground from under me.
Who?
Oh my god. I don't even know who's in the fucking end right now.
Also, just to be clear for chatters, even if it has religious motivations, it can absolutely be political.
Oh my
right?
fucking god, dude! All my fucking netherite shit, everything. Elytra. Okay.
I would consider.
I'll talk to you later, mate.
Yeah, take care. I would consider, right? For example, I would consider jihad. I would consider like terrorism motivated by like jihadic terrorism or whatever. I would jihadi terrorism. I would consider that political, even though it's motivated in religious. Even though it's a part of religious doctrine, right? Because Islam also has, it's not just like there's not just religion expressed. There's also like there is like tons of political beliefs expressed within said religion. For like the construction of the thing is, okay, I don't want to make, if anyone's Muslim here, you can help me out, okay? I'm not saying this because I'm a fucking Islamophobe. It's like, oh, all Muslims are evil. I don't. Yeah, obviously I don't think that. But correct me if I'm wrong. Where did the idea of, because there are a lot of things that are just practiced by Muslims that I don't know if were ever like explicitly advocated in the Quran. And I know then there's like interpretation of Muhammad's successors. Like, isn't that like the difference between like Shia and Sunni Islam? But correct me if I'm wrong here. Where did the idea of constructing a caliphate come from? Like, is the notion, wasn't, okay, Muhammad was trying to construct a caliphate, right? Or he did construct a caliphate. Yeah, okay, so their religious figure, the prophet, Muhammad, right, had constructed a caliphate, and then the caliphs that came after him believed that they were his successor, according to the internet. And yes, the attempting to construct a caliphate, which is, just to be clear, the manner in which you go and do that is completely disputed, whether or not you believe that should be done at all. You can be Muslim without believing in this, right? But, for example, like ISIS was trying to construct a caliphate. They did temporarily, right? That's political. It's motivated by their religion, but it absolutely is political. It is their interpretation of their religion is what's guiding them to go and do it. Isn't a caliphate just a Middle Eastern word for, well, it's not merely an empire, right? It's an empire where certain standards outlined that they believe were outlined in their religion would be upheld within said empire. Dude, viewers already climbing up. I'll do what I fucking want, idiot. I'll unpause and pause when I want. But yeah, I do. Wendy, did you fucking kill? Dude, I think I know. You know how Wendy's the one that just commented, watch the video? I think Wendy's the one that killed him in the... Dude, Wendy was upset that he thought the content was being killed. So that's why... Wendy. All your shit, netherite... Wendy, I'm gonna check. If you were the one that did it, it's only fair if you... To avoid a ban, if you give Dickers your netherite armor. That's like literally... If you were the one... Whoever... When I find out who killed him, and I will find out, because you did it in a manner where he lost literally everything... you have to give him all your shit. Your, like, netherite stuff. I think that's fair. I'll get to the bottom of it after stream.
Or positions on controversial topics. When I created Change My Mind in 2017, I had one goal in mind, and that was to shine a light on the institutions that had failed Americans. Often, students propagandized by the
Wait, hold on. Wendy, you were with Dickers when he died. You're the one that brought him to the end. So unless, like, somebody else just found the two of you hanging out in the end and then pushed Dickers off without being spotted, you're our top suspect.
educational system, as well as legacy media.
Mr. Trump's once again defending comments he made about the white supremacists and neo-Nazis.
There were very fine people on both sides.
The president's statement that both sides are responsible for the violence in Charlottesville.
It was designed to bring genuine dialogue to what had become an impenetrable echo chamber dominated by progressive professors, administrators, student leadership, along with the complicit media and big tech establishment. To put it simply, the kind of dialogue that evaded all of cable news.
I know you said this. You said I was being hyperbolic. Let me respond. I'm not being a white man as an insult.
That just shows you the ridiculousness of all of this. And so, nearly a decade later, with billions of plays, countless discussions, inspired student iterations, one meme of the year, and yes, even a few changed minds later.
Somewhat changed your mind.
Change My Mind had grown far bigger than I ever initially anticipated.
So I'll take that. I mean, you're not maybe super familiar with what we do with
This is where it all began.
Thank you for sitting down. Steven. So I'll take that. I mean, you're not maybe super familiar with what we do with these.
So I don't know. The other problem too is the statement, the left is violent. The left is such it's literally like a on like the political dichotomy, it's like a fucking direction you lean in that encompasses such a wide range of ideology, just like the right is. So if it's the left can be violent, and that means the left is like, or if that's what your statement means, like, yeah, obviously nobody's going to dispute that. But the problem is when you're just saying that about the left, it seems to be more than just the left can be violent. It's more like there is violence that is intrinsic to this group, by virtue of its beliefs.
This series. Let me just kind of clarify what it is. First, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not gotcha. It's not clickbait. This is not meant to be, or it won't be used to clip into some kind of a dunk or something to just foment people espousing the same.
Oh, come on. You know that's exactly what's going to happen. Okay, Dickers, put on... Dude, I got to get you some pants. Dickers. Put on some fucking pants and a shirt. This is a ridiculous skin. Hold on, I cannot look at this guy. I can't look at him on stream. He's like, his fucking Minecraft skin is butt-ass naked. Put on some fucking pants. Like, he actually, like, has a Minecraft skin with, like, a vagina and everything shown in it.
Rhetoric on one side. It will be uploaded contextually in its entirety, where hopefully we have a productive discussion. Yes. We rationalize our positions, reason them on controversial topics. Before I get to the premise of today, could you do me a favor just so we can find some common ground? Yeah. This is what's being cited right now quite a bit. Just the definition of political violence. I want to make sure we both agree on it.
Political violence are criminal complaints, indictments, and court records looking for...
No, that's not... Are these people dumb? This project examines criminal complaints. Okay, why would you highlight that part? Okay, this would be the definition, right? Crimes that seek a socio-political change or to communicate. Or to communicate to outside audiences? Got it. Is this the definition of Michael Lodenthal. Okay. I do want to check.
Crimes that seek a socio-political change or to communicate to outside audience.
And I'll summarize it. That's the technical description from the source cited.
Yeah.
It's violence as a tool being used toward a political end. In other words, just because you vote Democrat or because you vote Republican, if you accidentally hit someone with your car and commit manslaughter, that's not political violence. If you vote Democrat, but let's say you go out and run someone over because of their politics, that would be political. Do we agree on that?
I think I can agree with you on that.
Okay,
yes.
Good. So the premise today is that particularly today in 2025, by and large, the political violence is coming from the left. It's not proportionate with that on the right.
Yeah, so you'd ask him to cite a source. You'd ask him to cite a source on that, right? Because data just shows otherwise. It's just true. Data shows otherwise. And then you would, if he wants to dispute said data, you would then put the burden on him to do so. But like they keep saying that it's disproportionate, but I don't. You have to ask, where's like their metric coming from, or where's their understanding of this coming from?
That's the reason for the security that you see today. That's very necessary. And it's a problem that's reaching a boiling point that may not be sustainable. If you disagree with me, you're welcome to change my mind.
I don't know if I can change your mind, because here's the thing. When I see the sign that says the left is violent, and you talked about how it's not proportional, and I would love to see your statistics.
Based. Can I get a source on that, please? So true. So based. Very true. Source?
About that, because we could make the same statement about the right very easily, right? Like we could say.
Well, to be fair, you couldn't make like either one is going to be more politically violent or the other is, right? Because the more part is relative. But what you would dispute is the majority of political violence, under the definition he provided, comes from the left. Because also, by the way, the definition he gave, which is not necessary, which is not how I define political violence. No, because I guess you could argue that the Charlie Kirk shooter was trying to communicate a message to the public with what he put on his bullets. He also could have just been it seems like a mix of both. Right? I think Bella Ciao was like explicitly a message, and then the "Hey fascists, catch this." It was under the belief that, Kirk it was like anti-fascist messaging.
That was it just a month or two ago that the Democratic lawmakers were shot, and that was like, all right. I think our bigger problem is that the
Talk about the Hortmans in Minnesota, right?
Right, yeah. Because she was a senator, and her husband was also killed, and that was done by the right, whatever. But
I don't know. So is he going to dispute that because killing Melissa Hortman, and I don't know if this is true, by the way, because killing Melissa Hortman didn't seek to achieve some sort of like political aim or communicate, which it could have, I just haven't really looked into it, or communicate a message to the public, then it wouldn't be political violence, right? Is that what he's going to say?
It wasn't, but continue.
Oh, that wasn't a...
No.
It wasn't a conservative or...
No, that's why I used the example that I did. The person, Vance Bolter, who committed it, specifically said it had nothing to do with politics, and he left a letter reasoning it, saying that Tim Walz had ordered him to carry a hit out on people. So he was very clear that it wasn't in the name of politics. That's someone who...
Wait. What? Wait. Excuse me. That sounds to me like if he put that in there so that his actions would reflect badly on like the party he doesn't like. Because obviously, are you going to say that, is he going to argue that Tim Walz put a hit out on these people, right? Obviously he wouldn't agree with that. And if that's not the case, then why did he say that? Well, the options we have are this guy's a fucking lunatic, out of touch with reality, schizophrenic, or this guy was attempting to like conceal his motivations, or potentially on the way out, make the side that he is actively targeting with said act of violence reflect badly on themselves.
Happened to be, on some issues, Republican, on some issues, Democrat. And he was appointed by a Tim Walz administration. So that was not done in the name of political violence. He said...
Wasn't he registered? Huh?
Tim
on some issues, Republican, on some issues, Democrat, but wasn't he just like outright against the Democrat Party as a whole?
Walz ordered him to assassinate somebody who was out of his mind. But I'd like you to continue with the example.
Sure. And let's say, okay, so he wasn't right. That's fine.
No, it wasn't political violence.
It wasn't political. Oh, it didn't count as political violence.
Based on the definition you agreed to, right?
Yeah. And I think a lot of it too is there's so much.
I'd have to look into that. Unfortunately, he's making claims she doesn't know if that's factual or not. She probably didn't look into any of this, or was not like super familiar with the act itself, right? Nor am I, to be fair. But we don't even, I could just grant that. Let's just say I grant that. Let's just say I grant that that's not an act of political violence. Okay, well, what do you make of like statistical polling that shows that even under your own definition, political violence has been, and when he says recently, right, that's a like very like subjective frame of time. What is recent to you? If recent is like within the last decade, okay, then if we're counting political violence by everyone charged, under his definition, everyone charged with a crime that sought to achieve a political result or political outcome, every single person who is charged with or convicted of a crime in relation to January 6th will contribute to that statistic, right? Everyone will contribute to that statistic. Who was the people who were there on January 6th explicitly sought to, even if they weren't that day, which they were, right, to change the results of the election, they wanted to send a message that the election results were like fake. They were attempting to communicate a political message with the public. So yeah, you would contribute every single person there who was charged or convicted of a crime to your statistic.
Many things happening, it's actually really hard to
How is killing a political figure not an act of political violence? It doesn't inherently have to be, right? When Dan White shot the mayor of San Francisco and Harvey Milk, Dan White was personally upset that he lost his job, which was political, but his motivations were non-political. It was a personal grievance that led him to go and shoot two other politicians. He was a supervisor for the city of San Francisco, and so was Harvey Milk. And the mayor the mayor had taken this guy's job, and I'm pretty sure Harvey Milk was like supportive of that.
Get all the facts about everything.
Sure.
And our media is when they make these statements or they start to postulate about an event, and it will become political before we've even fully fleshed everything out, you know, like
he's literally going to, by the way, hold on. What he's going to do is he's going to turn it back around on her, right? He's going to say, oh, well, people were originally saying this guy was on the right. They were doing that with Thomas Crooks.
Give me an example.
Well, like the shooting that happened at the church yesterday, I haven't seen enough. I don't know. Have you seen any media on it yet? I'm curious to know what the media is saying
quite a bit
about it. And I want to know if how are they characterizing it?
Yeah, the media isn't characterizing, even I will say this, even on the left and the right, they're not really characterizing that as political violence.
Okay.
Because it was a guy who really seemed to harbor ill will toward the Mormon church. So it's pretty hard to categorize it as political violence.
No, that could absolutely be political violence. It really depends what motivated it. The Mormon church is heavily tied to state politics in Utah. The Mormon church is heavily tied to state politics in Utah, so if his like grievance was like he didn't like them because of the policies or because of like policies that they were advocating for, et cetera, et cetera. Dude, we gotta put item frames on whoever is like watching my stream that is in this server, if you have some fucking item frames, please put them on these chests. It's like, there's no reason only half of them should have item frames.
When the targets were largely conservative and the man who carried out the action seems like he might be a Republican. But I think we could pick a more clear example a multitude of them. The reason we're here, and I don't think you would argue that this is unnecessary, the assassination in cold blood is an act of terrorism of Charlie Kirk. Is that political violence? You seem so confident on the Hortmans, but not Charlie Kirk.
You could absolutely grant that this is probably going to be political violence.
Well, no, I would say, I was just thinking about your question. Yeah, I mean, probably because he was like Turning Point USA is a conservative organization, right? That's meant to try and rally.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. What you just said is fair.
Young conservatives and be involved, and so yeah, I would probably agree that his death was a political, or his murder, assassination.
Oh, come on. The hype when he goes and corrects that, he's like acting like she's like attempting to like on purpose to like obscure what actually happened.
Was politically violent, but I guess I just have a hard time reconciling that with, you know, we can say that the senator and her husband being killed wasn't political, but
I'll tell you exactly why.
You know?
I'll tell you exactly why. Because the express motive of the terrorist who assassinated Charlie Kirk was politics.
Yeah, but we don't know if he's obscuring his real motive because it's like laughable. He's saying Tim Waltz put out a hit on these people as though they were like some kind of threat to him. What motivation did Tim Waltz have to like? Unless you're actually entertaining that idea, it's probably likely that this guy was like obscuring his actual motivation.
He killed him.
Or he was schizophrenic. Really depends. Unless you like actually believe that these people were killed by Tim, which to be honest, it's like conservatives in America, they probably do believe that. No, I didn't mean to. There we go.
Because he said he's one of those hateful conservative right-wingers. The rhetoric that he espoused, the reason that he killed Charlie Kirk, was to take out someone of his political persuasion and make others of his political persuasion afraid to express their opinions. The man who assassinated, which I roundly condemn, Vance Bolter, the Hortmans, did not do it as a means to a political end. Charlie.
Hold on, let me go back here.
Right-wingers. The rhetoric that he espoused, the reason that he killed Charlie Kirk, was to take out someone of his political persuasion.
Did he say that? I don't think he's ever said that. I could grant that that's probably the case. I don't know if he ever said that. Did he? Check inbox. There was a list of nearly 70 potential targets, including abortion rights advocates, Democratic politicians, and abortion providers. The information reveals that Bolter did in fact have political motivations. How would Steven Crowder reconcile with that? Unless it was like a person, unless he would also then defend that, oh, it was like actually Tim Waltz put a hit out on all those people too?
Motive of the terrorist who assassinated Charlie Kirk was politics. He killed him because he said he's one of those hateful conservative right-wingers. The rhetoric that he espoused, the reason that he killed Charlie Kirk, was to take out someone of his political persuasion and make others of his political persuasion afraid to express their opinions. The man who assassinated, which I roundly condemn, Vance Bolter, the Hortmans, did not do it as a means to a political end. Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he is not an elected official, solely because of his political perspective as a method to instill terror in the populace.
Yeah.
How do I know? Because a person said it was political violence.
Okay, what if we just don't even have enough information though? Like, what if it is politically motivated and we just don't have enough to know about
I gotta
it
be
yet?
honest, guys. It's like 2 a.m. And I'm actually kind of getting a little bored. I might finish this tomorrow. Who knows? But we are like genuinely out of topics, and I'm probably gonna head out. But thank you guys for watching. As always, let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. I know it's kind of sudden. Oh, Dumpy in chat. What's up, Dumpy? You want to debate? I'm tired as fuck. You can, if you want to debate about something, you can. All right. Take care, guys. Let's see. Can I raid into anybody? Take care.